Welcome back, everybody. Abomination Vaults, UGT Entertainment Network, episode 16. When last we left our heroes, well, Calbum was catching up later, but everyone else had just discovered the hidden pen for Belcora's pet purple worm, which, thankfully, apparently long ago starved to death due to neglect.
Aww, poor guy.
I mean, that's way better than it being alive and then us showing up after it's very, very hungry.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's just you. The campaign's over.
Yeah, that was it right there. It's like,
what if it becomes an undead purple worm?
Well, then Bryn's in a lot of trouble.
We just have to make sure we don't walk in his pattern.
Indeed,
so that,
indeed.
The worm doesn't come for us.
That's true.
It's true.
No, just walk in a straight line. It'll be fine.
This stream is brought to you by Dune.
Because in the desert, you can't remember your name.
I can't
remember
my name anyway.
I don't even remember who these people are. We should go around and introduce ourselves.
Hey, good segue.
And the best of those.
Solid.
We'll start with you.
Hello.
Whoever you are.
I am Altmach, Maka Thorngard. I am trying to figure out what my nose does. It used to smell things, but it has malfunctioned recently.
Now it just smells.
I've been hanging around a lot with, Nil, and she broke it. And I'm a thaumaturge, and we hit things with my sword that talks in my head, but also sometimes to other people, as long as they hold it. And I enjoy exploring strange objects and sometimes beating the snot out of things, and sometimes just whiffing the entire session. It varies.
But looking so cool while you do it.
I don't get hit.
Moving on.
Well, some enemies don't hit you. The rest, that you got me here to fix that. Which, if your nose is broken, just hold still a sec and just you can pop that right back into place. Corwin Ovashti, resident field medic of the party, and well, I haven't been to my job in a while, considering the whole forest of wisps that need taken care of before you can go lumberjacking.
The town understands.
That's a great verb.
And I have to say, you have a spectacular survival rate for your surgeries.
Yeah.
With one notable blemish.
You can't revive a
perfect.
Look, I'm not a miracle worker. I can't revive a corpse.
Okay.
He was already a corpse. It's not my problem.
Yeah. It's
Dead
just,
silence.
It all depends on how you write your report up.
Yeah.
You killed my friend.
Time of death 2 minutes earlier. Whoops.
If anything,
Whoopsie
the
daisies.
worst part of it was it's a failed autopsy.
There you go. But really, I mean, if you're trying to fix undead, that's basically what you're doing.
Yeah.
Look, man, I had a list of ghouls Saren Ray is cool with. It had one name on it, and now it doesn't have any.
Good.
Speaking of Sarenrae. Yeah. So, howdy, I'm Derp. I play Drevin Sorrel, the pious puppy, the demolition doggo, keeper of the Saren Way with a big old mallet, a symbol of Sarenrae emblazoned across it. And we had a goal like 3 or 4 sessions ago, and now we're just wandering at this point. I don't even know anymore. We had a goal?
We're following the ghost.
The goal was to follow the ghost, so we lost the ghost, and now it's been go to the flesh room for 3 sessions.
And we keep not going to the flesh room just to piss off Nell.
So Lil has found a different flesh room, thank you very much, with a bunch of purple worm flesh in it. Desiccated and mummified though it is.
True.
Who are you?
I'm Bobby. I'm playing Calbum, Fimbly Bottom, who is, I think, maybe growing scales, according to last session.
That's right.
Yeah. Spend so much time underground in a cave, start getting scales. It's just what happens. It's just what you do.
Yeah.
It's just,
You turn into a kobold.
Facts.
Yeah, exactly.
Makes sense.
Could just be scurvy. But it could be, but
Eat an orange and find out.
No, that's orange is a government conspiracy. We only
Citrus does
not gonna
actually control your mind.
Big citrus.
Not gonna trust big citrus. We only deal in tangelos around here.
Look, we're in Florida. We know about the orange conspiracy.
Dude.
It's not scurvy, it's the sign of freedom.
The orange lobby is real, though.
It's true, actually. Very true. Florida Mafia.
That is not a fake thing. I'm a wizard. That's the big main thing to take away from that. I'm a wizard who fireballs the party occasionally.
That was the big thing to take away?
The fear is when you get fireball as a spell.
Really?
Right now it's just
That's
via
next level,
unlimited
baby.
resources.
Look,
Next
on,
level.
on the bright side, you fireballed the party as many times as Corin has killed somebody when trying to save
That's
them.
right.
So, I mean...
Gotta do it once.
Honestly, a
Don't
resume.
make the count go up.
I mean, that sounds like you're tied for first.
I'm making zero promises, but as soon as I get that spell, it's going off everywhere.
Resume would frequently fireball at her feet.
Yeah.
It happens.
It happens.
I got a good reflex save. I'll be all right.
All right. Well,
Get good scrub.
I think yours is literally the same as mine.
9?
10.
Yeah, well, see? Then you should be fine.
yeah, the dex character.
Yeah, you'll be fine.
It's really easy to avoid a fireball when you're unconscious on the floor.
Yeah, exactly.
That's not true at all, actually. That's the opposite of helpful.
No, it's fine.
All right, it's all right.
Well, when last we left our heroes, again, as our painting the picture, you had opened the doorway through the crypt and entered into the perfectly round room representing another level of the Gauntlight Lighthouse itself that stretches up all the way through the ground, up above the swamp, culminating in the lighthouse, which apparently has suffered nothing from the passage of time. And these rooms are just a continuation of the Gauntlet, which seems to go down probably as deep as the Abomination vaults do. At least you found a room on almost every single level you've gone to. Actually, no, all of them, because this was the only one that was missing.
Yeah, we hadn't found the one on floor 2. We did find the one on floor 3 because it had the...
Yep,
weird
that was
light
the
in
reading
it.
room, actually. That ribbon of blue light still snakes up from floor to ceiling, creating this writhing, very almost serpent-like effect in the middle, although all of you certainly remember from the last time you were around this thing that that is a beam of potent void energy, and touching it is quite unhealthy for you if you happen to be alive. One other thing that would draw, well, actually, Corwin's attention, while Nil is kind of gleefully looking at the corpse of the purple worm in this area. Corwin is able to notice a few things with your investigator sight, your that's odd kind of triggers. You notice that the circular walls of this room are decorated, carved with various patterns and shapes, like all of them are. This is no particularly different, but in particular what you'll notice is that there is hunks of what at first look like discolorations, but on closer examination turn out to be chunks of dried blood and ichor and flesh, which is long since petrified, but still stains the walls. Looking back at the purple worm carcass, it appears that what Bones told you when he was narrating the story behind Craggleguts, as he semi-affectionately called Belcora's purple worm pet, she would go and teleport it here inside the room to keep it. And apparently Gauntlight's imperishability extends down to its rooms as well, for the purple worm apparently tried to ram its way out
That's sad.
many times, and the walls held, and in fact did not even take a scrap of damage. And trapped here after Belcora's death, the purple worm simply starved to death.
Malker really sad about that. Malker looks depressed for a minute.
Well, honestly, it's a good thing it didn't get out, because otherwise I'm pretty sure Otari wouldn't be left right now.
I know, but I kind of feel bad for Crackleguts. When you give something a name,
Do
you
not
kind
feel bad for monsters.
Oh, I've been hanging around with Nil a lot. I
Yes,
kind of
you have.
started to feel bad.
Meanwhile,
It is a giant man-eating monster.
But he had a name.
It didn't. The goblin thing in the fish gave it a name.
the goblin.
Balcora, the person who owned it, she didn't name it.
So does that mean that if I have a puppy and I don't name it and somebody else gives it a name, it's not still a puppy?
Does a puppy eat people
Darn it.
alive?
It's kind of a brief look at the
I look at
knoll.
you. I like you're the biggest. I
You're the
mean,
expert.
you're
When raised properly, no.
I don't think we can raise a purple worm properly.
I mean, according to Nil, people claim they do, but I don't believe most of that for a moment.
Meanwhile, Callum has been trying to find his way back into the dungeons. And you would come down this winding tunnel that you fled down originally, which took you to the basement of the Otari fishery. Very convenient, by the way. You get to save that walk through the swamp. But coming back down the hallway, well, I guess the tunnel, as it were, when you're coming back to catch up with the party, you'll notice that on your left is an open door, which is unnoticed before. It looks like it was a part of the wall, but apparently it has been opened and left that way. Spork, who's been kind of trotting along beside you, will just kind of poke their nose in and just trot into the room. And not really look back at you at all, just kind of trusting that you'll follow.
I go where the cat goes.
Yeah. And you'll find yourself once more back in the visitor reading room of the library, where Ogriel was originally found, the landing at the base of the stairs from the second floor. Rather than continue into the library, however, Spork just moves over back to where the stairs were and just sits on the stairs and looks over her shoulder at you, just kind of blinking in that expressionless and enigmatic cat way.
Well, which way are we supposed to go? That goes up, doesn't it?
It kind of stretches out a bit
Big stretch.
and then arches and just turns around a couple times and then flits up the stairs, apparently to the second level again for some reason.
Okay, I guess that's where we're going. And I follow her up diligently.
Spork will lead you on a fairly windy path back through the second level, and in fact will sit down by a wall and just kind of paw at it. And then she'll look over at you imperiously, and then look back at the door handle, and then look back at you.
Can't you open it? You got dexterous little fingers.
Does the cat have speech?
That's dangerous.
It doesn't have speech. It doesn't have speech, but it does have dexterous hands.
The cat just sits down and just
Cat with
stares at you.
thumbs.
Yeah.
You gave a cat thumbs. That
Yeah,
is
buddy.
a horrifying concept.
Who else is gonna braid my beard for me? I can't see it.
The cat no longer needs you.
Never did, dude.
Never
like, I don't.
You think cats care
Yeah,
about
I
thumbs?
don't know. I
They're
guess you don't-
handy,
You
but,
don't have
like-
cats. You don't have cats. Cats do not need us. Cats tolerate us.
My cat
So
loves
wait. So there's a. It is a door.
It is an actual
Okay.
door.
Okay. I was under the impression that it was a wall. But,
Well, it
okay.
was a wall actually, but the cat, like now that you look at it, you can kind of just tell, like she basically just alerts on it, and this is like a door that's hidden in the wall.
Yeah. Well, that's convenient. I push the open button or whatever it is.
After a bit of looking at it, and with some direction from Spork pawing at a particular panel, you're able to maneuver the panel, slide it to the side, and reveal a hidden lever, which will open that door, leading you into a side corridor, which is a torture chamber.
Cool.
This is a side area where I believe you've seen before, because the bug janitor demon thing actually was in here cleaning when you guys first ran into it. No sign of that creature, by the way. But now that the door is open, apparently, like, you could have gone the long way around to get in here, but Spork just saw the door was here and just led you through this way. And trots over to another wall, paws at it for a bit. It's another secret door you're able to kind of figure out.
This is a lesson to all of you players out there. If you're gone for an episode, then you have a companion. The GM will just tell you where all the secret doors are.
As long as they lead back to the party.
As long as they lead back to the party.
You have to make sure that your character is in a different area.
And in fact, feeding through this door, you all in Gauntlet Room, there is another door in that room that no one's gone and checked out yet. That door will actually open up,
Immediately turns with weapon drawn.
and
So he takes off his necklace and throws it in there.
There is a giant monster in the room.
Yeah. Good.
Spork,
Not anymore.
Spork will just kind of trot into the room, just kind of look at all of you with your weapons drawn, and then just sit in the corner and just start deliberately ignoring all of you.
I'll go over and pet Spork.
Spork will do that thing where the cat just kind of melts away from your hand when you try to pet.
But I...
No, it's
I-
non-Euclidean. The hand somehow never
Nope.
quite makes contact.
Yeah, it never does. Nope. It's like, nope, 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 nope.
Spork has an AC in the 40s.
There is all cats do if you try to pet one, and it doesn't want you to. There is, of course, a gigantic purple worm carcass in the middle of this room. No sign how it got in here. And Nil is absolutely gaga over it.
Cool.
Yeah, I think they're going to be busy with that for a little while.
Oh, you guys are here.
Yeah.
Well,
I
great.
saw the cat. Figured you were not far behind.
Yeah, it's true.
We're gonna let Nil stay down here for a little bit and mess around with this, but we
You mean lock?
yeah, locker. Yeah. And then we were gonna head up to the 4th floor.
I tell Neil, you gotta tell me everything afterwards. You don't keep no secrets.
Well, I just have to go and find out everything about this. Do you see the size of this? I mean, there could be everything in here. Like, just look at how big this thing is.
That is
Wow.
an incredible Nil.
Thank
by
you.
The way.
Thank you. I
Wow.
felt inspired. I felt
Wow.
inspired.
Oscar. The Oscar goes to
I hope Britt is watching.
There could
GM.
be everything in here.
That
Very
is
accurate.
That is what she would say.
One thing actually that you'll notice as Bryn, as Nil, I should say, Bryn too, completely engrossed in this. She just kind of like waves you all off. I'll catch up later. Go. One of the little baby red centipedes will come down off of Nil and crawl on over to Mocker, and it'll stay on your shoe, and it'll go.
Come, my son.
It will crawl up your hand,
Your
and
butterfly.
perch
come,
up
my
on
baby.
your shoulder, and it just kind of poses there for a little bit, and then it sits down.
Daddy loves you.
It is not the best thing to pet. It is a centipede after all, but it doesn't bite you, and it just kind of sits on your shoulder. Spork sees this thing and puffs up to about twice of Spork's size.
Just starts floating away.
Spork does not
Balloon
care for
cat.
this thing.
It's like Spiritfarer.
We have little baby Centidevils.
Yeah.
And the devils.
You kind of take a closer look at the little centipede. It's got a reddish tint to it, and there's in fact a little tiny pair of horns on its little centipede head.
That is adorable.
This is Woosifer Jr.
Yeah, they named them all, apparently.
Well, why wouldn't you? You got to give stuff names.
There's
That's
a couple
how-
hundred
that's how-
of them.
That's how you make pets.
Too many.
Doesn't have to be you to give the name though.
Catch you up real quick. Well, we got directed here after finding out about this worm that apparently carved out that tunnel back to town.
Ah, yeah, that makes
Yeah.
sense.
And, well, just kind of thumb out the door that we came in through. Weird kind of specter thing popped out of a tomb.
That's where they live.
Belcora's Major Domo or something. Got rid of it. Got here. You ain't missed much beyond that.
All right.
Yeah, we had a really nice chat with the demon, the little devil thing that was cleaning. We freed him.
Oh, good.
He's
Yeah.
gone now. He went to a better place.
I was wondering where he was because I found
He
him.
went to hell.
Do we?
And as Dim Bean Papa says, it doesn't bite you yet. That's true. Although they are indeed adopting everything in the dungeon they conceivably can.
You keep using this word "they."
They'll see how it works out. All of you, every single one of you.
I'm not over there. We can't just point at this table and say "they" today.
Look, man, I have changed the entire trajectory of my character in order to make this thing my animal companion. So you can suck it. How about
Oh
that?
no, it's a surface centipede.
Little Woosifer, little Woosifer, be welcome.
An emotional support
It's
centipede.
an emotional support.
It does, in
centipede.
fact, have a
Heck
little
yes.
section of its body just in the middle that's a different color of just like a bright yellow.
Yeah, it says,
I
"Do
bought
not
this
pet."
vest online. That means you have to let it in your
Yeah.
store.
Yeah,
Yep.
that means it's legal.
Woosifer doesn't eat much.
Yet.
You have to let me onto the next floor, Belcora. I have a service centipede.
Mhm.
It said that we have to go here.
Well, anyway, so yeah, there you all are. Nil is thoroughly distracted. And
So which way do we go now?
4th floor.
I
Do
just
we
came
even-
from the 3rd floor.
Do we even have a way to get there?
Yeah, we found the stairs.
No, we haven't. Well, we found a door that's covered in arms.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where the stairs are. That's where
That's where the
that's
stairs
where
are.
that ghost lady
She
went.
said they were there. I mean, we still got to find a way to get rid of the arms.
Well, we know how to get rid of the arms.
yeah,
We-
you found the guy who put
we-
the arms there, and he told you.
Fair enough,
We have
yeah.
the scepter.
Mm-hmm.
Let's
The
see if
staff.
those ghouls are done fighting themselves then.
Yeah, we may
Okay.
have to go deal with them.
Then after that, we can open the door. I don't want them behind us.
Yeah, that would be ghoulish. I mean, foolish.
And I'll just go on ahead and lead the way back down to the 3rd floor over to where we were hearing the fighting in that adjacent room.
Okay, so you can go at it from a couple different ways. You could go in it from the way of.
I guess, which room was the fighting in? Was it when we've already
So
explored?
you heard the fighting from the other side of the restricted section's door. You can
Yes.
get your way back to the restricted section a couple of ways. You could either go through the main area of the back to the
I was just
landing
gonna go
where the
back
reading
down the
room
main
was,
area.
or you could go back where you met the devil in the silver circle, which will take you back up through the hidden door on the other side where the restricted section is and the barred door is.
I was just gonna go back the normal way.
I found a couple secret doors.
This is not tactics, man. This is Paladin who wants to slay undead.
Uh,
I'm hoping we run into some.
Calbum?
Yeah.
Can you tell me what this little pot thing is?
Can I?
Maybe you can. Mocker hands you a clay pot. It's about, it's maybe like that big. It's got a decent geometric design kind of carved into it. Apparently it was put in there when it was made. There's a slight crack running up the side, but otherwise it's in good condition. It looks old. It has a lid. Lifting up the lid, you can make out a great deal of alchemical residue, but your keen senses and training with magic will notice that there's a sort of a, you might call it a magical aura about it, almost like a magical residue as well. Go ahead and give me an Arcana check while you're checking it out.
I can do that. That's 14 on the die for 26.
26. So you look at one of these things, and it occurs to you that you have heard of these before. So this is what's called a they've got a few different names. Someone call them eternal pots. Some of them call them safety pots or safety jars. The jar itself is it has a property, an enchantment woven into it, which is fairly rudimentary, but quite potent. The jar will actually put itself back together after it's been broken, which creates an interesting opportunity for it to be able to hold things that are basically for bombs or potions that you would throw. It creates an interesting container apart from just a simple glass vial. Not only will it put itself back together, but every time it does, it sort of has a residual alchemical, what would you call it, like a residue left behind, which creates over time sort of a potent amplitude effect with whatever you happen to put into it. So you could actually brew a potion in this, or you could go and put an alchemical formula or a bomb in it. And
Okay,
when
so-
you throw it and break it, it will put itself back together, and there should be some extra effect based off what else has ever been in there in the past.
Neat.
This is a cast iron pan, but for alchemy.
Do I know how fast it repairs itself?
You've only heard of them, and you've never really been told a time frame. But you, from what you understand, surprisingly quickly.
Yeah, check this out.
Hey!
It breaks into a bunch of pieces.
Fireball.
And then,
Yeah, there would have been an opportunity for that for sure.
all right. So we are, of course, having a bit of trouble because OBS cannot ever let us have a good time without
no.
making us
I
earn
think
it
this
first.
is Spectrum, not OBS.
It might also be Spectrum.
Spectrum!
We're going to go try and reboot the stream real quick, see if we can stop dropping these frames, and we'll be right back.
All they heard was,
Got me.
We good?
Boy, howdy, I love
I think we're good.
our internet overlords.
We haven't lost any frames. We
So
haven't
far.
My glasses are still on. Is that what you mean?
No.
It's not, no, but that's also a good thing. Well, that was a little concerning. Let's see here. I think we're back.
I believe that
No,
last
I'm
one we
Mocker.
left off.
Season way. Last we left off.
Fireball.
Quick, knock on wood. The actual wood behind you.
Is there really actual wood? That's wicker. That doesn't count.
No, the torch. That's
Oh,
a tree.
yeah, that's
The
a literal
torch is
tree
wood.
branch.
Yeah. There we go.
There we
We've
go.
knocked on wood. We should be safe now.
All right, cool. All right, so I'm not sure how much of my voice was going the thing. So, but let's see. Last we left our heroes in the purple worm pen room. No one got fireballed or blowed up.
Yet.
And,
Because we stopped the stream.
that's true.
You didn't describe what happened when I threw the potentially big fire thing onto the ground at my feet.
Oh, that's true. You found the pot that that Mocker had found, technically that Nil had found in the Cobalt Caverns. This cracked pot thing has provenance. Like, where did it come from?
The crackpot found the cracked pot.
Yeah. There you
No,
go.
that's the
crackpot
crackpot.
found the cracked pot.
That's the crackpot.
I'm sorry, that is
Nil and I are best
low-hanging
friends.
fruit.
It takes crackpots to like crackpots.
So
We've got other terms. for
Callum
Neil.
picks this thing up and smashes it down on the ground, and it shatters into pieces, scatters everywhere. No explosion though. But you do,
That thing's boring.
You do see a little like sparks of like greenish light, kind of a little bit.
The time effect on that sound was, or the
The little spindly.
yeah,
It was
right when
good.
you went little sparkly bits, it went.
Oh really?
Yeah,
Oh,
you
cool.
did good, Nick.
All right, thank you. Well, and then the pieces just start to skitter across the floor and start reassembling themselves.
Isn't that cool?
Oh, you knew that was gonna do that.
I
almost-
didn't.
Okay, so
I was just going on vibes.
What?
Man, don't worry about it. It's all good.
preferable thing. This is the second magic item. Apparently, this one fixes itselove though.
That's
Maybe we don't throw them at the ground from now on.
What's the other magical item? Let's throw it on the ground and see what happens.
The wand you got.
Yeah, that one worked.
And within
a while.
we did it for a little bit, and then clearly it just had only like 2 charges.
Yeah, it's
left
just
in it.
one charge.
It's
just 2 charge on that thing.
And within a fairly short order, the pot has reassembled itself,
See?
and it actually rolls across the ground and stops at your feet.
Oh, it's like a
So
pet pot.
it's a jar that fixes itself. Do anything else?
I don't know.
That's neat.
I didn't even know it was going to do that.
Alchemy and stuff. Or
I mean,
potions.
if it's a jar that fixes itself, that's just handy to have around the house. You knock it off the shelf and
Put sugar in it.
Oh!
Awesome.
We should give it to Spork, and that way he can continuously knock it off the counter, get really excited because he knocked something off the counter, and then it will fix itself.
This is
I mean,
actually just a magical cat toy.
It's a magical cat
That's
toy.
what this is. We're
Aren't
giving it
they
to
all?
You know,
I mean, I could.
Spork starts looking at the jar.
Giving it a look over with like crafting. Could you put bombs in this or anything that would just like?
No reason why not. It's about the right size.
It's just like it's a reusable container.
Yeah, saves you like having to make a glass vial, which normally should be pretty darn expensive, but isn't in Pathfinder
It's
verse
free.
for some reason.
It's free. It says so right here on my infused reagents.
Well, oh, the other thing is we know how to get through the door with the hands. We found the key.
Well, that's convenient. Does Neil know about that?
Yeah,
Neil.
yeah. Noble's the one who figured it out.
No, good.
Yeah, we should probably get that staff from her.
Nil's pack is, by the way, just on the floor. You could just go take
I'll
it.
go grab it.
Do you want to touch that pack?
You pull it out and like some bugs and worms just fall off of it.
Eviscera.
Whatever. I'm used to
It's
it.
got a weird stain on the bottom of it now.
You don't
But
wanna know about that
holding the
stain.
staff, you can actually see the inscription, which appears to have been burned into the wood, which seems to be the promise of "I will hold this portal shut and protect you from your enemies below." And so is sworn on this staff.
Easy enough. I mean, I think we just. I don't know if we gotta. Let's try opening it first with the staff before we go thinking if we have to break this or not.
Either way. Let's go deal with the ghouls. Come on.
Yeah. I mean, we could probably get around them, but they're gonna come back at some point. So
Better
best
get
deal
rid of
with
them now.
So you are able to, moving down through the floor, you come out onto the landing and start cautiously making your way through to the main library room. Moving out into the main library area, the place is a mess. There is broken furniture. There is toppled bookshelves. The books that were there are scattered all over with apparently no thought to picking them up. Apparently, these librarians that once treasured and kept these books, something is the conflict is completely taken over themselves. And ghouls being a little feral to begin with, it looks like that they've completely lost themselves in it. Interestingly enough, though, you see no bodies. Just the signs of sheer violence. There is almost no piece of furniture that has not been smashed.
Huh.
Nothing has been deliberately destroyed. It looks like it just looks like
I was fighting him.
yeah, exactly. Like
There
an
was-
incredibly indiscriminate brawl happened in this room.
There was a firefight.
Looking over,
think
you
so.
can see that the restricted section door has actually been broken into, and to the south you see the pale blue light of the Gauntlet reading room. But again, the chairs that were in there have been tossed, pushed over, broken in some cases. It's an absolute mess.
We'll just follow the carnage, I suppose.
I mean, it's kind of everywhere. Where would you like to go?
Through the broken door.
The broken restricted section door?
Yep.
You move to the broken restricted section area. This area also is actually not really any more destroyed than it was when you were last in here. However, looking around, you notice a couple of things. First off, that Nerazarin's body, which is in the temple where you left it, it's gone. It's not there. The flesh statue of Belcora is still there, but a lot of chunks are missing from it, and it's just been like ripped apart.
Oh, girl has a brother.
The skeleton is still there, but there's no sign of not really the skeleton of the statue, but like the framework kind of holding it up is still there, but no sign of anything else. There is not a body left that you come across.
Maybe there's
Should I just yell out?
I mean, we can keep back down the other way of the hallway towards, the offices and whatnot.
Yeah, might as well.
Calbum, what if there's a subset species of ghouls that only eats dead flesh? And we've discovered it down here. Maybe it's evolved, specifically.
They'd want to keep that secret.
That's what I'm saying, because those ghouls would be okay. They wouldn't want to eat us. And they don't want you to know.
No, of course not.
So as you move about this room, there's definitely a chill in this air level, which is starting to kind of seep into you. You recognize the effects of this sort of kind of this psychic like miasma, which is kind of flowing in here. It has a different feel than it did last time, but dipping into your supplies, you're able to keep it at bay.
We put on our puffy jackets.
Yeah.
Keep that cold out. And you start looking around, trying to see what's going on here. So where are you going now again? You said towards the offices, like Belcora's office?
Let's see what we can find.
Okay. You move to Belcora's office. The area that is still untouched. No one has actually gone into it. And it is it's just in the same situation that you left it in, which is to say not exactly in the best of condition.
We did fight a little.
You did fight a little gremlin in that room.
Yeah, that's right.
I liked having eyeballs for that fight, and then not having them again.
Yeah.
Yeah, lurkers and light, man. They're a little tricky. But it doesn't look like any violence or fights happened in this room, and there's no sign of anything different here.
All right, I'm going to start scrying for violence. Let's see if I can pick up a trail.
Well, the main area is certainly brutal.
Sweet.
And in fact, I suppose you're quickly overwhelmed by just the sheer violence that happened in this room. You get flashes and images of ghouls literally tearing each other apart. And looking actually at the area, Corwin in particular will be able to pick up that the bodies were actually dragged across the floor to the south.
Dust is moved over that way,
and
piling up on the edges.
Possibly unsurprisingly, through the door labeled the Shrine of Pure Flesh.
Well, Nil's not going to be happy about this one.
Nil's going to be so upset.
Oh, well.
We're just clearing the way.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I guess you can go first.
Get yourself ready. I got the door. I'll grab it from the side and toss it open for you.
All right, so you've got the door. It is big enough. It's right at the base of the gauntlet room, so it's a big circle.
Basically, just like breach and clear. I'm off to the
so
side, getting ready to
I'll
throw
be,
the door
like,
open.
Ready to throw a strike, and then he's opening the door.
So you pull the door open, and inside this room it looks like an absolute slaughterhouse. There is a giant mound of flesh in the center of the room, which appears to be like a mummified version of the thing you fought underneath the well, that gibbering aberration. But within its flesh form are corpses upon corpses of the ghouls, and they're not just haphazardly thrown in here. They appear to have been pressed into it, almost as though the flesh partially liquefied. And sitting on top of this is another ghoul who appears to be entirely within a trance, and that has kind of pushed his way, although on top, still fully focused on this mound of corpses and bodies, and with no reaction to you. But this thing dominates the room. You barely have room to move in here from just this pile of bodies. But looking it over, you can definitely see that this corpse pile, there's something here. Your senses and your experience with this is a spiritual spring which has been wound up super tight, and it's almost like this is like a twisted up spiritual bomb that's sitting here.
Oh, well, I'm essentially our spiritual bomb diffuser, so let me take a look at it.
Alrighty. So go ahead and give me an esoteric lore for this. I think that actually works.
I think
now
it
that I think
works.
about all the stuff
This
that it
is
does.
very esoteric.
Pretty
I
darn
don't think it
esoteric.
gets much more esoteric than this.
Oof.
Well, it's the second best roll of the die I
It
could
is.
possibly have.
It landed
But
on
it's
that.
okay, because I have a hero point
It landed on that 20 and just
from Tim C.
Alrighty.
don't want
Trying
that
it
to-
again.
This time for real. You know what? That
That's-
tripled.
It's categorically better.
That is a 17.
6 on the
17.
die.
So you look at it. Like most constructs, it's said a lot, but actually, most of the times, violence can be the answer.
No. See, violence is the question. The answer is yes.
Yes,
That's what it
absolutely.
is.
Certainly, violently dismantling this thing is an option, but you are concerned that it could pull itself apart violently, and you're not sure how. As for
violence.
what's going on here, you have no idea. But the one thing you can tell, especially through your thaumaturgic resonance and your psychometric readings, this is a coil of spiritual energy.
All right. So Mocker's gonna stop. He's gonna go into his pack. He's gonna get out some chalk.
Uh-huh.
He's going to draw a chalk circle around this thing.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't it like the entire room almost?
It's almost the entire room. It's a big
Isn't
circle.
there-
You're-
yeah,
There's a lot of
There's a
There's a
fellow
ghoul on
up
top,
there.
right?
Maybe
Yeah,
don't-
but he doesn't seem to be reacting. He
That's
seems to be
the-
entirely focused on this thing, and he has his arms are buried in it.
Now, you see that guy up there? That's the king of the ghouls. Because these guys fought to the death, and now
Drevin,
he's the only one left.
I need a little prick of blood from you, and we need to pray to Sarenrae real quick. We need to banish whatever this evil miasma is, and I think this is the best way to do it.
I mean, we got a real easy way of getting rid of a ton of dead flesh.
Yeah,
We've already tried burning rooms before.
It worked out real well last time.
So I'll
Let's do
take a cleaned needle that I keep just for this purpose, and I clean it in between using it, and I'll prick my finger, and I'll put a little bit of my blood on the chalk to seal the circle,
Okay.
and then I will intone a prayer to Sarenrae, and then I'll hand another one to Drevin.
Probably just do it on a tooth.
You bite your finger.
Uh,
You with an application of you're not sharing needles. That's good. Thank
No.
you.
Yeah.
That's safe. I appreciate that. You
It's a safe game.
so
I
you're
keep on
basic-
needle on per. Here you go.
You're trying to do a sort of an ad hoc ritual
Yeah.
here. So you both give me religion checks.
Okie dokie. I suppose I'll be primary.
Yep.
I was getting out
Sure.
2 separate vials here, keeping an eye on the guy up top.
That is a 17.
17 total. Okay.
That's a 20.
20 total.
No, it's a nat 20 on the die.
Yeah,
For
natural
a
20 on the die.
total of a 28.
Okay. So what are you trying to do with the circle?
diffuse the spiritual
I'm
energy?
trying
to
to
diffuse spiritual
diffuse the spiritual energy, even if I can just diffuse it a little bit to make it easier to take apart manually. That's what I'm trying to do.
Okay, so will you go and seal this circle, and with a prayer to Saren Ray, with the blood, the sanctified blood from you and Drevin both, this circle will sort of flare a little bit, and the energy feels different, feels redirected, but does not appear to be dissipating. Looking at it a bit closer, it looks like you've managed to contain it, but you have not managed to actually break the ritual itself. But because in this thing, it's kind of, you got a success out of it, because failure goes to success when your secondary crit succeeds. Pretty sure it does that way anyway. I'll look it up later.
Either way.
Either way.
Not 20, and not a bad roll. So.
Cool stuff happens.
Exactly.
But it looks like at the very least it's going to be contained for now. You might need more research to figure out what's going on here and what you can do with it. Or like I said, you could just swing your hammer at it and see what happens.
I think I'll swing my hammer at him first.
Yeah, I was gonna say this is some kind of ritual. Just
We don't
kill the idiot doing it.
It's delayed for now. We got time to deal with him.
Yeah. I'm not a fan of taking things apart in this place that we don't understand. There's too much here that has gone horribly wrong when we've just kind of stepped in it without knowing what we were facing. Let's be cautious. Now that it's contained, we have time to figure it out.
So just kind of talking louder up towards him.
You want to come down? Or do you even notice that we're here?
He does not appear to notice that you are there.
Gonna devise on this guy if I can. Just kind of looking at him. Just that's a lot of flesh. He's an awkward situation. Don't want to hit the ceiling. I'm pretty sure I'm not gonna hit him on a 9, so I'm not gonna go ahead and throw yet.
Okay.
Just kind of trying to line up a shot.
Did you say his arms are like inside this fleshy ball thing?
Like up past the elbows, yes.
So it's like he's wearing big ol' Hulk gloves, but it's just a giant flesh ball.
I was kind of thinking more along the lines of you have like your arms buried in sand, but I mean, yeah, you could do Hulk gloves. That's something.
How many more of those beads do you have?
I don't know. A bunch.
You want to throw them in this room?
Yeah, I do.
Let's back up quite a bit before you do that.
I'm getting out of the room.
I'm just going to stand like to the side of the door just in case he decides to come down here and mess with you.
All right.
Now, about a 20-foot spread on that. Don't blow yourself up trying to get it through the door.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Put it nice and deep in the room.
I never
He
done.
needs to
You
go
can't
away
miss.
from the door.
I'm leaving the room. I don't trust
Hey,
any
someone's
of this.
got someone's wise.
I'm out of the door.
I'm not in the
just
room.
Adjacent, so emanation effect can't hit me.
Okay, you're gonna just get cover behind the wall.
He's gonna get some eyebrow singeing done.
There you go. Well, Calvin, how close do you want to be?
I mean, I'll be smart about it, but I don't remember because he was immediately dropped by the fireball. He doesn't know how far it spread.
Come to think of it, Corin probably doesn't really know how far it spreads
Yeah.
either.
The
I
only
know
one-
it hit him.
I can tell you
Relative to
exactly
where I
how far
was.
to stand away, and it's not anywhere near the guy.
All right, so you know what, Calvin, after consulting with your friends here, I just rolled you a secret knowledge check. You have a pretty good idea about where it's safe to stand.
That I have dubious knowledge, so that's great.
About 10 feet should be safe.
Yeah, let me stand right here next to it. Let's go.
It's safer the closer you are.
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
The closer you are, the better it is that it knows where you are, and it subtracts where you are from where it is.
Exactly.
We're gonna try-
You become the missile.
That's it.
The issue is the fireball does know where it is because it knows where it isn't. It doesn't care where you are, though.
If you're danger close, Calvin.
That's why you have to be close so it knows.
Too much talking.
To whom it may concern.
You pull this bead, you wing it into the room.
How many of those bees do I have, actually?
You have one left after this.
Okay.
It blossoms out into a fireball, and the body on top just is engulfed in fire along with the pile of flesh and just kind of slumps forward. And the flesh kind of burns for a bit before, the fire eventually goes out, and it's very badly burned. But you don't see any reaction.
While he does that, I'm putting a little, Vicks under my nose since the smell of burnt flesh is not my favorite.
The ghoul just kind of slumps down, apparently dead, from the fire blast, and the thing is still crackling away. Big
Do
old
we-
singed mountain of flesh.
Do you,
Give it a sec and just pull out the bow, aim up to him.
Yep.
Twang.
Put an arrow right into
See
it.
if he reacts to getting shot with an arrow.
It does not, actually. It appears that you're shooting up the corpse. That's what it looks like you're shooting.
Well, unless there's another one somewhere in the middle of all that, I think we're good.
Is energy still there?
Well, it's contained in that circle, but that cycle within that circle is still going. So, yes, it is still there.
Well,
Let's try and break it. The worst that can happen is we blow up again.
I got another one.
No.
We'll save that one for now.
Could I try a medicine or crafting to see how to, like, disassemble whatever has been made here?
You could
Disassemble
try religion
corpses.
or esoteric lore.
I also
That's
have religion.
spiritual
It's perfectly
stuff.
valid.
That's
It's
a bunch
pile
of dead
corpses.
bodies. I'm trying to figure out how to pull apart dead bodies.
Oh, well, that's easy. You just grab one end and haul.
I mean, I have religion. It's not a big deal.
I'm not saying
I'm-
it's like if you want a crafting perspective on how to take a pile apart, you grab a piece of the pile and pull it away. They're not structurally like stuck together. They're spiritually stuck together.
mostly trying to do it to not make them blow up.
Then that's the spiritual bomb. So no, you have to use religion for it. I'm
So
afraid.
+9.
+9. Your guess is about as you barely understand what Mocker and Drevin did.
Yeah,
It
it's-
looks like some kind of sealing ritual, but that's about all you know.
I guess I'm gonna start taking it apart. Do you just want religion to start disassembling?
Or
athletics?
I mean, not if you're gonna just swing on it. You guys have gotten
No,
as
like
far as you can go
strategically
with religion.
take it apart so it stops doing what it's doing.
That was the religion check. You guys got as far as you could with that.
Okay.
So
I mean, I could just stand here and blast it with more fire forever. Like I have a fire cantrip. I could just
I mean,
go,
if you give me a minute, we can just set up a campfire on the edge of this thing and let it burn. Corpses catch pretty well.
They don't actually. They tend to be very moist.
Fresh bodies, yeah. Desiccated old ghouls.
Ghouls are pretty ickery. I'm just saying.
I say we just take it apart.
all right.
Yeah, you guys have basically exhausted your spiritual options right now.
Yep.
You could try to leave it
It's now
and come
brute
back
force.
and try to do more research and figure it out later, or you could just be physical about it if you want to.
Do you just want athletics checks?
Sure.
Okay.
So who's doing this?
I will be brute forcing this.
Okay, who else is doing it?
I will help.
Who else is doing it?
no.
Were you doing it?
No, y'all get started on that. I got an idea here, but it's going to require me to go back to restricted area.
Okay, so Calum's going to wait outside the room. You're going to go back to the restricted area, and you two are going to start pulling it apart. All right, go ahead and give me some athletics rolls, the both of you.
It's a 22, 11 on the die.
I got a nat 1.
Okay.
You
You
tried to
fall
pull
into
from
it.
the bottom.
I tried to pull
the dice
from the
tell
bottom.
the story, baby.
All right.
Here we go.
So,
Are you ready to blow up the gauntlet?
all right.
Oh no, the lumberjack's not here to yell timber.
So the Mocker starts hauling the corpses away. You start hauling it away. And as you step over the circle, the chalk is scuffed. The sealing ritual breaks. And as you pull these bodies out of the way, that spiritual coil unravels like a broken steel cable under pressure. And an audible snapping sound happens. The mountain of corpses seems to rear up
Oh no.
and collapse down, completely burying Drevin. Drevin is caught and buried under a mountain of corpses.
That seems right.
Um,
That seems.
Mocker is kind of on the edge. You're kind of able to dance away from it, but primarily what happens is you feel this whip crack of spiritual energy rake through your minds. Will
Ugh.
saves for the both of you.
Drevin, I told you not to smudge the chalk.
That's a 12 total.
12 total.
You emotionally connect with the ghouls because you're becoming one. So you're like, yeah, I don't know, that's fine.
Oh, I mean, I did way better. I got a 13.
Ooh, a 13 and a 12. All right, that's spectacular. All right. So you are going to you feel this pressure
why I
on you.
left the room.
17 void damage to the both of you.
I would like
That
it
could have
noted that
been
I did
worse.
not fireball the party yet.
Nope. And
Somebody
this
took my
Steps to avoid that.
and you feel
And then they
this,
went into the room.
this aching kind of just like something is buried within the both of you. and you are just like,
Do I
you almost
advance
feel
stages
short
on
of
ghoul
breath.
fever?
Please.
Please give this to me. Please.
Please, I want it.
You feel this shortness of breath, almost like you're gasping for air. Everything seems a little bit light, and you do not feel too good. You're both going to be sickened too.
Full hiding in there.
So Calbum gets to see this happen, and Corin gets to hear that happen as you were walking back to the restricted section.
Stops halfway there. Goes back around the corner. What did they do?
It's funny. They fell on him.
And as you are kind of both reeling from this, you that hole, that damage, that kernel of whatever this spiritual rot that's hit you, it's still there. Drevin, you are in particularly tough shape. This feels, not only do you feel this rot eating at you from the inside, but the weight of these bodies on you, you've been able to throw weight off before. These feel horrendously heavy. What would y'all like to do about what's going on right now?
Can I even see Drevin?
Nope.
He's right there. Under the, he's under it. It kind of rolled like a meatball.
Lay on hands myself. I'm assuming it's not impossible to touch myself in the pile. Or can I not move at all?
I'm fairly certain you can. I think you can lay on hands yourself. I don't even think you. Yes, you can lay on hands yourself. There's no way you can do. You
Okay,
can,
yeah.
You close your
The
hands.
sound of one
together.
hand clapping. There you go. It's,
Just close two fingers together. I've touched myself.
When I think about it.
And then try to break out.
Calvin, you got any way to move?
So,
Actually, I don't think I do.
Mocker is gonna choke down a Bravo's brew.
okay, you're gonna pull out a potion and swig it down.
You are sickened.
You
cannot
are
drink anything.
you are sickened.
Oh, that's
actually, you
right.
cannot bring yourself to go and swallow.
I can make him bigger.
I mean, honestly, that might help. At least getting them out. You got to be able to see them, though. Don't you?
Do I? I don't know. I don't know if I have
I
to.
guess I'll go over and I'll just try to move.
Just
move
as one
bodies
creature
brute
within 30
force.
feet.
Okay.
I don't know if I have to be able
You
to see
start trying to dig out Drevin. I'll call that an assist. Go ahead and roll it. Drevin gets an athletics check.
You're the assist. You
Yeah,
gotta
I
go
know.
first.
That's gonna be a 28.
+1.
Hey.
Nat 20.
Nat 20.
There we go.
So that's a 31.
31. So you start to thrash, and Mocker is hauling these bodies off of you, but you are like thrashing like a wild animal. And these ghoul corpses have, now that like you start to actually see signs as Drevin starts thrashing himself through, these ghoul corpses have dug their claws into him, almost like they are holding on to him with rigor mortis. And Drevin's thrashing. He's able to rip himself free. However, you are going to deal 16 slashing damage to yourself as these claws are ripped out of your body. And at that rot that you feel kind of eating in at you, both of you are going to take another 19 void damage.
Ow. So
And your soul's still leaking.
Look, get out of
Lay
there.
on hand.
Get out of the room. Let's go. Close the door.
Mocker will leave the room, and then he will hold Najee to his heart, and he'll take Drevin's paw, and he'll just start to like do essentially like just start intoning like the Serenray version of the Lord's Prayer.
Trying to pray the sickness away and pray the hole in your soul away.
Essentially trying to seal them off from spiritual corruption using their faith.
So you do your best and try. It doesn't look like you're having any immediate luck, but maybe in a bit. Drevin, you managed to pull yourself out. You want to try anything yourself?
I will try to staunch the persistent damage with a religious prayer.
Yep, sounds good.
Exactly like you, but less words.
Drevin is not
Alrighty.
one for platitudes.
I'll tell you what, I'll let you guys roll the roll to try to end it. You are going to take another 14 void damage.
I'm down.
Mocker collapses.
I mean,
That's a 15.
Your stuff ends. You still take the damage, though. Roll to see if your persistent ends.
That's
It's a flat check.
It's an
11.
An 11. It's still going. So Mocker is looking. First off, Mocker collapses unconscious, and black veins start moving up through his skin. And he's not looking too great.
Najee will give him back 7 health.
That was your action, was to do that.
Yep.
Would you have gone down with that 7 health from the persistent damage?
I would be at 1 hit point.
Okay, so you don't go down then.
Safe.
But your soul's still bleeding, and you have 1 health left.
Yep.
Got
seeing-
an action.
Seeing them just not looking great, gonna quick battle medicine my cousin.
You run over there.
Corin runs in with a knife. Hold on, I got this.
Going for the expert check. You're not looking great, so I'm not gonna risky this because this is pure panic. Like you are death's door. But that's only a 5 on the die. That's not gonna succeed.
You're trying your best, and you've just spiritual damage is not something you're used to dealing with, and you are not having much luck. Calum's just kind of standing there slack-jawed. I don't know if he really knows what to do.
I don't.
Yes.
I do have a spell though. So above Mocker's head appears a bucket of ice water that tips over and splashes on your head. You can take 2d4 temporary hit points.
I'm wet.
I
love that
I get it.
spell.
Yeah, it's called Rousing Splash. I just make you.
5 health.
I'll take my 5 hit
That's
points.
2d4.
Yeah, that is
5.
2.
I only saw one.
You
2
can't
and a
get
3.
5 on 1.
A little bit of temporary health. You never know. I could roll
Hey,
low.
it's a thing. Better than 0. That's the only healing I have.
Well, then I will
Actually, that's
both
not true.
probably try and end it again with more prayers.
With more prayers.
Cool. Watts, go ahead and you're both gonna try individually, I imagine.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. You have gone. You think that those prayers are gonna work? Go ahead and roll me a flat check to try to end the persistent effect before it hits you. Your difficulty is 11. 11 or higher.
20.
That's that 20.
The curse evaporates. You're still sick in 2 until you start retching to get rid of it. But
Mocker will immediately start throwing up bile.
Yeah, probably same.
Yeah.
That was not tasty.
no, it wasn't. Can't imagine.
Thank you, Lady of Light.
I
Thank you.
forgot I have a spell.
You
A
have a lot of
a
those.
better spell than just splashing some water on you.
But not nearly as funny.
Not as funny.
Honestly, Mocker was super appreciative of the 5 hit points, man.
Washed off all the weird ghoul stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
I
what
gave you a
worked.
bath.
I
Gave you
needed a bath.
I have a heal, which I can either. Well, so you look okay, yeah.
I'm
If they're no
not
longer
dying
taking
right now.
damage, I'll be able to fix them.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm
Yeah.
not currently dying.
Then I will hold that.
The corpses seem to slew out a bit, and you all wind
Shut
up
the door.
staggering away from it. Closing the door helps, but not entirely. And
Let's keep moving away.
whatever was going on here, it looks like it's no longer happening.
Yeah, we took the brunt of it with our faces.
You did. That was always an option. You can always do it that way, and there you go. But yep, there you go. Almost died, but it worked out.
I was fine. If I hadn't laid my hands on myself twice, I would have gone down by 1. I am at 23.
Really, the athletics check to break out was what saved your butt. That's really what that was.
Both y'all sit down. You're not.
Mocker immediately sits down. He's like been throwing up. It's like, I need some water.
I just gave you some water. What are you talking about, man?
Mocker will take something out of his pack. He doesn't even really look at you, look for what it is, and he just kind of toss it at you.
I catch it with a 15 on the die, or a 15 total acrobatics check. What is it?
Does it?
It's
Fireball.
it's yeah, it's a fireball.
It's the bead they stole from your necklace.
It's a t-shirt. He threw a t-shirt at you.
Oh, it's a t-shirt cannon. Sweet. He puts it on.
Goes way past your feet.
Yeah. It's the world's best dad.
wearing your boyfriend's t-shirt.
Yeah, so sitting down,
tie it
definitely time to take a short break.
Keep your eyes peeled. Plenty of noise from that. But we ain't seen no one yet, so hopefully that was all of them in there.
You've seen a lot of people, actually. They're all in that room.
Ghouls aren't people.
You're such a good boy, Lucifer. Thank you for not leaving me.
Do you have ward medic?
That centipede stayed there the whole time.
I know, he felt very comforted by it. It's
Yep.
what allowed him to pray his way out.
So I'm just going to be medicine checking both of them.
You don't have to roll dice. Eventually, enough time will pass that you'll be able to go ahead and put yourselves back together. You didn't manage to die. Well done.
Were
I
you
will ask
expecting
you-
someone to die to that?
Yeah, I was, actually, because that was not nice. And if you get caught underneath the pile, the persistent damage doesn't roll to go away. So, yes, that was really dangerous.
No, it's fine. We got out immediately.
Well, if we sit here for a little while, I can heal you both. If we sit here for an hour, I can battle medicine you again later.
That's okay. I'm fine. Well, I need to know how much you heal me by, because that's going to be
Full
You're
health.
back
Oh,
up.
I'm back. Then I'm
You
fine.
will eventually get back up to full. 'Cause
Let's just say
Okay.
an hour passed.
just say an hour
Okay,
passes
that's
and
fine.
we're fine.
Get a
Then
little massage.
Kind of put back together. You'll have to go through another one of your supplies in the meantime to keep that miasma at bay, but you're able to do so.
Pretty sure
Marcus-
we found the ghouls.
Marker's gonna have a sandwich. Gonna take
We
out
killed the king of the ghouls, though.
gonna take out a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. She's gonna eat it.
Covered in ghoul viscera.
I don't care.
No, not anymore.
No, it's fine.
I washed it off.
It's a wet peanut butter and jelly
Oh,
sandwich.
that's the worst. Oh, it's been sitting in your lunchbox all day. It's just gooey.
Never mind the covered in viscera. That's whatever.
no.
But
What
was
the
in the
wet
bo-
sandwich,
no, it was in the
ugh.
box. The water
wet
got
bread. Ugh,
The
it's
jelly
so
soaked through.
gross. Yeah,
That's really the genius of Uncrustables. They put peanut butter on both sides.
Yeah, yeah.
It insulates it.
Yeah,
It's
I went to a
brilliant.
restaurant the other day that had a fried Uncrustable. It was absolutely divine.
Because
Just
if
a-
you fry anything,
That's right. It
That's
was fried.
just a pierogi.
It was fried, and then they like covered it in sugar and some honey. Man, it was good.
Oh, man,
really,
you know
really
what's
good.
even
Actually,
better?
does
Yeah,
sound-
it was
that-
awesome.
That
It
is
was
straight up
really
just
delicious.
dessert. That's just a pocket pie.
That sounds
Dude, it was
really
really good.
Next time, put some cream cheese on it. Then you'll get the real experience.
It sounds pretty amazing.
You make
what
me
would
want just. I'm from Pennsylvania, so all I have is like Pennsylvania Amish desserts, and now I just want pocket pies.
Hey, listen, that's where we're going right now.
So what would you call it if you have a slice
Stream's
of
over.
bread with peanut butter on one side and jelly on the other?
A sandwich.
Do you
No,
call-
that's
do you
a
A
call-
slice of.
Oh, a single slice of bread?
But that
A
is being
mistake.
sandwiched.
I would call that illegal.
war crimes.
Yeah. No. Wait,
But
that's
you
illegal.
turn the bread into the sandwich.
All right, you're back in the dungeon.
A punishable offense.
Yeah.
The punishment is getting a corpse pile dumped on you.
All right.
Also,
well,
your hands are all sticky.
now we can go to the 4th floor.
After significant rest.
Yeah.
Ugh, I'm changing clothes too.
Yeah, you would have done that within the hour.
Well,
Maybe thrown the old
Just,
ones out.
I am. They're getting burned.
They're
Yeah.
washed.
Yeah.
I washed them.
No, they're wet. It's
Yeah,
different.
that's true.
damp.
It rained on me. I don't have to do laundry.
Yeah.
Bobby.
Squishing in his
All right.
boots.
So we need to make a rule, Calvin. Don't dump water on Drevin, because then
Wet
it's
dog
just gonna
smell.
be wet dog smell forever.
I can't take off the armor.
That's what
It's
I
mild
mean.
steel.
It's
It'll
just-
rust so bad.
Please don't do that to Drevin. You can do it to me. I can change clothes.
Unless you want me to smell like the swamp.
I mean, to be fair, you did kind of jump into it the first time we were here.
Didn't you always? Don't
Like
you always
head
smell
first.
Like the swamp?
No,
Probably not.
Isn't that where you came from?
No.
he gets groomed
came
every
from here.
Wednesday.
Gnolls are like plains
Yeah,
dwelling
but no, I thought
animals,
your whole
right?
story was that you like hung out with the wisps in the swamp.
No. Went walking one day and got like almost killed by the wisps.
Yeah, that came from later. Like he was abandoned and they took him in,
Got
but
it,
not
okay.
the wisp bit came later.
Got it. Just putting backstory together. That's all.
As if I have a backstory.
He's just making.
That's if I
Dude,
knew this dude.
you have head
It's like
canon,
George
that's what
Washington
matters.
chopped down the cherry tree at Valley Forge when he went. Yeah, it's like no, those are separate agreements.
Nick, don't ruin Calbum's head canon.
Oh, fair enough.
Well-
I'm sorry.
Cousin, you got that staff?
Yeah.
Let's not go back into the room where the angry ghost lady was. I don't
She's-
want to go back in there.
Yeah, she's back, probably. Let's,
I don't know.
let's
Ghosts
just-
are weird.
Let's just go throw some hands.
I don't know. I
Just-
thought she was pretty nice.
I'm not even going to comment on that because that's got some questions to it. You
called-
were unconscious very
It's just
quickly.
called brain damage, y'all. he got knocked out a couple times.
Couple times.
Yeah.
Couple times. He'd like punch you in the soul.
He
pretty
doesn't
hard.
know.
Well, let's see if just like
The door is still there with those fleshy clawed arms crossed over in front of it, sealing the door shut. Go ahead and roll me a. I'll let you use any of the 4 knowledge skills or esoteric lore, whichever you want, to try to.
I will absolutely use esoteric
I guess
lore.
technically religion would be the most
I
appropriate,
will
but you can
take
use
religion
esoteric.
too. I'm also an expert.
Give me that religion
Because
check.
I can actually read what it says on the staff.
Sure.
What language is this stuff on the staff?
Infernal.
I can also read that.
Wizard.
there
I
you
couldn't
go.
when we got it.
Yeah.
I can't read.
Yeah, that's true. I couldn't. I learned it.
You assessed to go first.
That's 12 on the die, plus 9 for 21. That's a +1.
+1.
Legally a +1. Ooh, I don't know what just.
You don't need
I don't know
those.
whatever, but I'm sure it wasn't important.
Esoterica lost forever.
Oh, it's an 18 on the die. That is a lot. That
Awesome.
is a 30. That's my first 30.
So you present it and lost forever. Oh no, you found it?
Oh yeah.
Hey.
Her lizard fell.
Oh no, not alabaster.
Also a rock.
Amethyst.
Presenting the staff, you chant the released phrase, which you're able to kind of figure out from the infernal contract, and the writing on the staff will glow and burn over, leaving just an illegible scorch mark where once there was the wording on the staff. And the arms will just start to, before your very eyes, decay and shrivel before collapsing into dust and falling away. Eventually, just a thin film of dust is swept away on spectral winds is all that remains of the once very formidable barrier holding the door
I
shut.
try to catch some of that dust. Put it in a little jar.
Sure. Give me a dexterity check.
Sure. It's a 13 on the die for 14.
You've got yourself a
Heck yeah.
jar of what should we call
Desiccated
it?
hand.
You've got a
No,
jar
no,
of
no, no.
dust.
It's a
You've got
special
jar of
desiccated
dust.
hand.
Demon powder.
You have a jar of contract dust.
Awesome. I write Nil's name on it. And I put it in
And
my
guess what's
pocket.
inside it?
And
For Nil.
the
Take it to the
door
contract
is
demon and he'll
open.
thank you.
Huh?
Take it to the contract demon and he'll thank you.
He might. If you, so
I
are you
guess
going
we're going through.
the door? All right,
Yeah,
you
door's
open the
open.
door, and a set of stairways is leading down into the darkness. Following these stairs down as you descend, the familiar spiritual signature of Otari actually strikes your senses.
Found him.
And you can see ahead of you sort of a golden outline of a figure carefully moving down the stairwell. In particular, you'll notice that his steps are so smooth as he moves. He's being very quiet. And although this is only an image, a vision that you're seeing, you cannot imagine this making any noise as he moves. It appears that Otari was incredibly skilled. Mocker, your vision being sort of primed by your thaumaturgic and psychometric senses, you can actually see Otari kind of creeping down against the wall. He's breathing heavily. It looks like he's been through a lot and hasn't had a chance to rest. But he sneaks down the stairs very quietly. And you follow him down. The stairs descend quite a ways. And when they open up, it opens up into a massive cavern. The cavern is huge, and it towers up above you, probably a good 40 feet over your head. And the path ahead of you continues straight ahead onto what appears to be a stone pavilion. Looking over to the side, you can see that the stone pavilion is built on pilings, which extend out over an underground lake. The underground lake has lots of mushrooms and stuff growing in it down here, but this looks like you're in sort of a bioluminescent lit underground lake. But this sort of stone pavilion has been constructed over it to keep the situation level. You don't see anything here, but Otari's ghost, or his vision, I suppose, his shade, creeps through very cautiously. He checks the arrangements, and then he pauses and looks to the right. Looking to the right, you can see that there is a gap in the wall, which looks like a sort of a natural cave, which is broken into this chamber. And he kind of makes an odd gesture. Mocker can see him actually waft air towards his face, and he sniffs, and you see his eyes light up almost as though he's like, this is what he was looking for.
Mocker will do the same thing, almost in like a gesture. He's not sure what he's expecting, but he goes over and he wafts air into his face.
Well, whatever it was that Otari picked up, either your senses aren't sharp enough or whatever he smelled isn't here anymore. But Otari will actually stretch up, check around the room, and then leap down from the platform along into the shore of the water, splashing and making his way towards the cave. At this point, the shade will stop startlingly and then crane and look at apparently something massive. Mocker can see that his face goes pale and his eyes widen. And you get the feeling that Otari just realizes he has made a terrible mistake. Whatever he's looking at, he crouches defensively, tries to roll away from, and the shade is jerked violently to one side, flying like 15 feet before splashing into the water. You can see that the shade has apparently been struck a powerful blow. Otari staggers to his feet and starts moving as fast as he can towards the south of the southern side of the cave, away from the tunnel he was going towards. As he runs, again, the shade is knocked by something very powerful before he's able to scrabble around to the left wall, limping very badly as he goes. Apparently, Otari ran into something very bad in this room.
We're not going in that water. That's... Otari almost got overwhelmed by whatever he saw here. It's dangerous.
500 years ago.
Yeah.
It's still here. We're dead anyway. If it's not, that's where he went.
Mocker's actually shaking. Like, he looks overwhelmed by what he saw. Like, the fear and the pain that Otari was feeling is reflected in his eyes, and it actually takes him a moment to settle and to separate what he was feeling from what he's actually feeling before he calms down.
And that cave is to the east or west?
The cave is on the north side, but it's to
North.
your right. If you look over to your right, you
And
can
he started
see.
going
Okay, so we're
the other
on the
way.
east.
You're on the east wall right now.
Gotcha. I thought we were on the north, and
Yeah, the stair kind of
idea-
did a swingy thing down here. But that happens when you're exploring underground. You lose your sense of direction really easily.
Yeah.
In fact,
okay.
that might not be the north at all. Maybe just to the right.
Survival check.
Turned around a lot.
That's definitely
the north.
The north.
Okay.
That's a 19 plus 7.
Oh yeah, probably good enough. Probably good enough.
You can keep a track of whatever left turn you've made.
As you step foot into this room proper, you are almost. It's odd to be assailed by an inaudible sound, but that's exactly what it sounds like. There are screams that seem to echo on the air of this level, as though something very bad happened here a long time ago. You're able to, again, by dipping into your supplies, drive this sensation away to kind of be able to keep a clear head. But
Supplies as cotton balls that I've stuffed into my ears.
whatever you guys want,
Yeah,
it can be
that's
cotton
it.
balls,
That's what
it can
could
be
be jars.
sage, it could be a slinky that's soothing. You can play with it as you go around.
Fidget toys.
Fidget toys, exactly.
Then avoiding getting in the water. Probably gonna try and make our way in the same direction that the shade went.
So the pavilion bends sharply and heads north. There is no way to follow the shade without getting off the
I got rope,
piling.
and I can get us a tie up.
One
real
thing
easy.
you do see on the pavilion is that there is a skeleton which is laying face down along the pavilion area. It's a little bit unusual because, first off, it has what is clearly a fractured ankle. Like, that's very clear to see because the clothes have rotted away over the years. It's a moist environment. The ankle is shattered, which you don't see anything that would have shattered it around it, so it's possible that it broke in real life. Also, there is what appears to be the rusty remains of a single-edged knife driven into the back, which was likely the cause of death. Psychometric readings around this area, you aren't actually sensing it right now, but you can feel that there's a presence here. If you want to go and dive into it, you can.
Looks like somebody
I
tried to do
mean-
some medicine.
It's worth investigating.
He is an absolute idiot for this stuff, so you better believe he's diving into it. I mean, this is literally what he lives for.
All right, so you go and you pull out your psychometric esoterica, and you are presented with a vision of this corpse's last remains. Now, it doesn't overwhelm you. This happened a long time ago. However, it's still quite chilling. You see a human who is it's a woman dressed in sort of like a maid's outfit. Nice, lots of lace. It looks like it was expensive, although it is very badly tattered. Although not old tattered, not worn out tattered. These looks like fresh damage. She is limping, moving as fast as she can. You sense fear, you sense panic as she limps down as fast as she can from the north through the pavilion, desperately trying to make her way to the stairs. And you can hear the footfalls behind her, something big, something heavy. And she'll turn around with a sort of a scream, and you'll see a massive arm with this, what is in the vision, a butcher knife, come and just stab her straight in the back. She'll fall to the floor, perfectly overlaying where the skeleton is. And the massive figure is but a shadow in your vision, but it kind of stands up straight and then raises its head, almost like it's bathing in sunlight, and sigh. It's done. But there's one left. And he turns around and walks back the way he came. And then the vision clears.
Oh. I think that might have been my great auntie. Like my great auntie. I think I might have just seen the death of one of the Rose Guard.
You do know that the Rose Guard, aside from Otari, all survived the fight and left to, found the town of Otari and live long, fulfilling lives. So.
Yeah, but maybe one of them came back, like an ancestor.
Or
They were confirmed alive.
this is just a person who got stabbed in the back.
Yeah.
Then what did they mean by there's only one left?
More
There's
people
one
to
more
kill.
person.
I guess it's because the last person he saw in here was Otari.
So it looks like he doesn't seem to. This guy killed this woman and then turned around and left, and it happened a very, very long time ago.
Huh.
Corwin's just grabbing the knife out of the back and just kind of
It is
give it a look at.
rusty to pieces. In fact, it snaps off when
Just
you
taking
pick
the hilt of it. Might be something to identify on it later.
It looks unremarkable. It looks like a kitchen knife.
We
Throw it in
should.
the water, see if anything jumps out.
No. That's
You want to throw yourself in there and find it?
no.
Just kind of brings a foot up and pushes the skeleton off the platform.
Perfect.
That'll work.
It splashes quite loud for comfort, but and the lake is silent. No giant monster comes out.
Do I smell monster?
Nope, you do not smell a monster. You smell a lot of mushrooms, though.
I see a lot of mushrooms.
I guess we'll start making our way.
The fungus.
I mean, if we
fungus.
want to go down the way Cousin said the spirit is, I can tie off a rope to one of these pylons to get us on down real easy.
Now, didn't we just say we don't want to get the dog wet? I thought we just talked about that.
Well,
Yeah, it's
both-
just boots.
And maybe I'm not understanding the room construction that well, but can we see what he was looking at through the crack before we go down?
Go ahead and why don't we pull up the map then, since we want to kind of get a feel for what this looks like. So you
Because
guys.
I'm not particularly spatially gifted.
No, you're fine.
How dare you ask for a map? What do you think this is? A Pathfinder gaming experience?
Pish posh. So it's going to
map,
be a
map.
I think the multi-leveledness of it is kind of going to be a little confusing here. So why don't we go ahead and we can pull the map up. But you'll see that the pavilion is going to look like it's just sort of like a walkway. It's a top-down view. But basically, where you're on this
Boardwalk.
stone platform, kind of like boardwalk. It's made of stone, but it's over on pilings, about 10 feet over the water, and the water is like a lake that's around you.
Where's the crack in the wall that Otari was looking at?
That's further to the north. Again, not on the pavilion. That's why he jumped down, was to get to it. But you can see it on the northeastern side. And it looks like a natural cave. It's not the direction Otari's spirit went.
I want to see what was in there first because he looked at it with hope in his eyes, and I think it's going to be important for us to know what was in there. If it's still there. I don't know.
You'll go ahead and take a peek at there. Do you want to jump down there and look? Okay. Well, you can slide down the rope that Corin throws over. Making your way over, it looks just like a natural cave leading off from here.
Somewhere to hide, somewhere to
But
rest.
it continues. Like, it looks like it's like a cave system, honestly.
Maybe when he smelled it, he smelled fresh air or fresh water, and that's
Seawater.
Distinctly possible. Otari was actually famous for his senses. He was the tales that the Rose Guard told of him, possibly exaggerated to kind of try to canonize their friend after death. But Otari could like spot birds that were all around, that were like through the forest. He could see arrows in the sky and count them all before they landed. Like the tales of Otari's perceptions were pretty impressive.
I think this might be another way out, so it's something to note. But let's keep following him.
I mean, that was the plan, wasn't it?
Yeah, but I wanted to know what it was he was looking at. But now that I see it, I think it's probably just him smelling something. He was really famous for that. He probably smelled seawater or fresh air, and he knew it was a way out, and that's what made him so happy.
Well, Drevin has a good nose. You want to give me a perception check?
Sure. I'll see what I can sniff out.
Thanks, Scoob.
Nat 20.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm big.
Very far away. Very, very faint.
Got the big sniff.
But you can smell the unmistakable scent of the sea. Salt.
You asked me to do the one thing my character is very good at, other than slaying undead.
Big sniffer.
Big sniff.
Yeah, big sniff. And almost assuredly, Otari scented that as well. And to him, this was freedom. This was the way out. But something happened and he was not able to get this far.
Well, if we want to go this way, it's another shortcut to a deeper level.
Hey, White Carnation Adventures just rated.
Hey!
Welcome.
Flowers for us!
That seems to be the case. But
All right.
Otari's trail retreats further to south around a corner.
Let's go follow him.
Unfortunately, I hate to do this to all of you guys. We're just about to take a quick break.
Thanks for the raid.
I mean, this happened the last time they raided us too. I think just
I
their
think they just
ending
ended
around
like
our
5:30,
break time.
5:40. That just happens to be what happens.
But we could just keep going and say to heck with the break.
Then not break? No, I don't know. People need to get up and stretch. It's not good to sit in one place for too long. But don't worry, we'll be right back. In the meantime, check out our cool sponsors, Ark & Forge, Eldritch Foundry, Norse Foundry. Use the code UGT Show. Get yourself some money off if you're interested in their stuff. And we'll see you guys back shortly.
Don't worry, you'll get to watch us hopefully not die.
I want to sniff.
You did.
Welcome back, everyone, to UGT Network Abomination Vaults, episode 16. When last we left our heroes, they were examining this mysterious cave they had just come into, trailing the shade of Otari as he ran from apparently a terrifying monster that struck him and wounded him badly. Having examined the cave, he was trying to make his way towards the party. He was able to determine it was the way out, leading out to the sea. Otari almost made it out of the dungeon, but tragically, one last nightmare stood in his way. But enough about Otari. Who are modern explorers checking it out in the modern day? We'll go around the table and find out. We'll start over here this time.
This is Calvin Thimblebottom. He's believes about anything he reads because that's where the right information is. And
Does his own research.
he's a wizard gnome, tiny little guy, just a little guy.
With a cat that's your same size.
That's right. Yeah.
The Gnome Dome.
Howdy, I'm Derp, and I play Drevin Sorrel, the full plate, donned in Great Knoll with a warhammer, ready to bash the truths of Sarenrae and all the non-believers.
Corwin Ovashte, unfortunately, did not get a new medical knife that was rusty as all heck. Don't worry about why I need that. It's for working on the undead. They like the rust. Resident investigator, field medic, trying to figure out what's going on with the weird tower in the woods.
Just in case you have to, do surgery on salad fingers.
Yeah. He
Yeah.
likes it. I guess I need spoons for that.
Deep cut, dude.
Just like the knife.
Not anymore.
Before
Broken.
most people's times these days.
We're so
just dating
old.
myself. I'm just dating myself.
I dated you.
You did.
Speaking of.
Speaking of which, who are you?
Oh, Altmach, Mocker Thorngard, resident thaumaturge, recent convert to the Saren Way. Here to investigate all manner of esoterica with his talking sword and his light of faith that guides his way.
That's exactly right. And our hardy band of explorers were here, just jumping off into the water of the underground lake here, which is fairly deep, but not so deep that you can't like wade through it. Calvin might need to be carried. He's really small.
I'll pick him up.
Spork actually just kind of like looks down at all of you wading through the water and then just kind of disappears, and then with a one graceful
Does a
leap
butt wiggle first, though.
clears the water and lands on the shoreline past the mushrooms. Those dots on the side of mushrooms, some of which grow quite large.
We gotta add a flat check for every time the cat does that. If it rolls a 1, it does the thing where it just jumps like 2 inches off the ground.
It loses friction and
Yeah.
Friction is an option for cats.
Cats
no.
don't obey physics.
Yeah, well, I wish my cat understood physics, understood friction, because my cat does not, and therefore, whenever we're playing a board game and the cat walks across the table,
no.
this
Your cat understands friction.
you think
Cares not for it.
you think it's
Yeah.
just malicious. That's
Yes.
what it is. Pet me, humans. Don't play this game.
Cirrus isn't smart enough to be malicious.
Yeah, Cirrus is
has
pretty dumb.
No thoughts in her head.
It's malicious
Smooth
ignorance.
brain.
All right. So I guess we'll head Otari's way.
Heading south, the following the trail, Otari's spiritual signature continues, and you see him desperately limping down through the cave. Around the corner, there's a sort of a smaller chamber, one end of which is taken up by a very murky, dirty-looking sort of pool, I guess you'd say. It does not look like there's any drainage from this pool, so this water's probably been here for quite some time, and the water is evaporated. This stuff is really kind of sludgy. Thankfully, you can walk around it. Where this sludgy pool came from isn't too terribly difficult to see, because over your head is a rusty metal chute, which seems to be connecting to a hole in the wall. Goodness, a good probably 30, 40 feet up. Apparently there's something up there, but this chute looks like it went and dumped a bunch of gunk here.
I am not Nil, so I am vastly uninterested in where that goes, where it came from, and where it's venting into.
Well, one thing that might actually draw your attention is what's underneath the chute. While certainly there's enough room for you to sneak past, not dunk yourself in the water, beneath the chute is a massive corpse. This thing is huge. It towers over you. Thankfully, it looks like it has been here for centuries, died a long time ago, and has since become a feeding ground for mushrooms, which have completely taken over this corpse and seems to have been putting whatever this horrendous-looking thing was at one point to good use.
It's the circle of life.
Indeed, indeed. Although, if anybody wants to try to figure out what kind of monster this might be,
Yeah,
Yes.
sure.
I'm also going to
esoteric lore.
harvest some mushrooms from it.
sure thing.
That's how The Last of Us starts, bud. I don't think that's a great idea.
Yeah, I'm an alchemist.
Okay.
This is going to be society checks, actually. Interestingly enough.
Since it's a monster, can I use my esoteric lore?
It's
think
not
that-
a monster if society applies to it.
Not true.
It's
Actually.
monstrous.
Well,
Witchers hunt down people too.
I think you can use esoteric lore for this.
Yay.
So
Do you want to roll it?
technically I'm supposed to, but it was more fun when the players roll dice. You guys roll it.
Hey, nice.
That's a 16 for society. It's a thing.
It's a thing.
With a 19.
Maybe if you saw it without all the mushrooms on it, Drevin might have a better idea about it. It seems vaguely.
Smells like mushrooms. I can't tell.
Yeah, that must be it.
So I got a 17 on the die for a total of a 28.
That's probably pretty good. What about
11
Corwin?
plus 10, so a 21.
Nice, Calvin.
9 plus 10, 11. Or, 9 plus 10 is 11. Right?
That's where
Right?
that's where that goes.
Yeah.
I mean, count up enough.
I mean, it's at least 11.
It's all how you frame it.
yeah.
Really.
So that's anyway, a 19.
Alrighty.
I help.
Well, Mocker and
Sort
and Corn have a good idea about what this is. Calbum, you think you know what it is, but all of these.
Oh, I
mushrooms
know
on
what it is.
Oh,
I know what it is.
Well, Corwin and
Funkified funky dude.
Corn and Mocker, you would actually, underneath all of this, one thing that would give it away would be its 3 trunk-like tendril arms. This is an Otiug.
Oh boy.
You have never seen an Otiug or heard of an Otiug this big. This is like 3 times the size that Otiugs are supposed to grow to. You're not sure if it's whatever it was eating here, or if it was what it was fed, or if it was just the magics of the Abomination vaults that made it grow so large, but these things are normally quite troublesome if you run into them, but frequently are kept in sometimes city sewers, sometimes sewers out here in the middle of nowhere, because they consume garbage. And so it's an excellent both security system and trash disposal creature. But this Otiug is absolutely massive. You know that Otiugs are strong and violent and territorial, but this one would be especially strong. The other thing you know about them is because they consume garbage, their hardy constitution does protect them from the effects, but they can carry a lot of disease. And filth fever is a frequent concern if you're dealing with Otiugs.
We're not touching that thing. And I'm real glad Nill's not here.
Yeah, I'm getting some mushrooms off of it, but
Sure. Go ahead and give me a survival check to harvest you some mushrooms.
Why? Don't touch.
that's a 16 on the die plus 11 for a 27.
27. You go ahead and get yourself a vial of glowing purple fungus. Slightly bioluminescent.
Seems safe.
Probably fine.
Yeah.
But probably like rolling around and it won't be too bad. And Corn was very careful when he carved those mushrooms off.
Pulls out a little set of like medical shears and just kind of snips them back towards the base. Not
You
even
had
getting
medical
the root.
shears this whole time? You've been using a knife?
Yeah, it's called a scalpel.
What are you doing, man?
You don't just cut things off.
I don't know.
I mean, these are built to cut off like fingers that are snapped off near the bone.
The mask slipped a little bit. Corrin's like, no, this is my medical dagger. That's
Like, I'm not cutting you with a knife. I'm cutting you with a scalpel.
Uh-huh.
You're too small for these shears.
yeah.
I mean, to be fair, these are sized for like most of the lumberjacks I work with. These would probably just take your wrist off.
That tracks.
2d8 damage. You harvest this a bit, and you can see Otari's shade actually desperately limp over to a narrow crack in the wall and slip through it, squeeze through it as quickly as he can, and push his way past. This crack would have been far too small for the Otiug to make its way through. But that appears to be where he went.
It's a canyon for me, though.
Freya, Calbum has no problem getting through there.
That
And
sounds-
Drevin, it's super tight.
The plate mail helps kind of like bash it wider as I go through.
It's getting wider by the minute.
There you go. That's no, that's it does not work that way very well. Yep. Homie
So-
got butcher meat shears. Oof. I was thinking pruning shears, but I like yours better, more appropriate.
So we'll make our way through after Otari through the hole.
Following Otari, you are again splashed down in water. Comes up to your knees. Callum, you're wading at your chest through this thing. This water is thankfully not slimy and gross like was in the last chamber. It appears to be natural runoff in here. But wading through, you can see Otari's shade kind of like limping through the water. Turning a corner, and there's a small rocky sort of islet, I guess, which kind of rises out of the water. And you can see his shade pull himself up on this islet and just kind of shivering with both exhaustion and possibly something else. To Mocker's eyes, you can see that Otari's wounds are festering before your very eyes. Whatever disease this thing was carrying is horrendously virulent. Otari makes a brief attempt to try to dress his wounds and eventually just collapses onto his side exhausted and never moves again. As the vision fades, you can see a skeleton clad in leather armor with a rapier at his belt. clutching a small pack on its side. You have found the final resting place of Otari Ilvashti in this stone alcove with no exit apart from the way he came in, trapped here by the horrendous monster outside the door, unable to leave. And apparently from here, he succumbed to his wounds and the terrible disease that ravaged his body.
Mocker will have tears running down his face. And he'll relay everything he saw and felt, and he'll kind of kneel down by his side and kind of just put his hand on the sword.
And as you make this gesture of respect, a sort of greenish light will subsume the skeleton, and rising up from it is a figure that you recognize quite well from the visions that you've had. This is Otari, who rises out, his shade pulls up from his body, and beholds all of you. This isn't Otari looking at something that's not there, that happened in the past. He is here present now, and this is Otari's ghost. Apparently, the magics of the Abomination Vault kept his spirit from moving on, and he kind of blinks his eyes and looks over all of you. Oh. Well now. Looks like some of you have finally found me.
Hello, Uncle.
Oh, this is awkward.
Huh.
One of us needs to change.
And indeed, Otari is like, wait a minute, Corwin's wearing the same thing Otari is.
Down to the pants.
That's true.
Hmm.
Interesting. And it might be a trick, but Otari looking over at Corwin can see the family resemblance. Huh. A distant nephew, perhaps?
Couple centuries, yeah, I think.
It's been a long time. Huh. But no, someone has finally come, and I thank goodness too. I've got much to tell you, and there isn't much time. And then he freezes a bit, and his eyes get wide, and he looks about, worried. Oh, they're coming back. Quick, get your weapons.
Pull immediately.
And as he says this, you can see these glowing wisps of light kind of descend from the ceiling above you. And Drevin, to Drevin's eyes, you've seen the wisps that have inhabited the upper levels. There are a couple of these weak ones, but one of them in particular, glowing with a baleful orange, is undoubtedly a full-power will-o-wisp. This thing is dangerous.
Lore Wisp.
Lore Wisp indeed, and it's not too long before they swoop down to attack you.
Guess that's
Why don't
initiative?
you all give me some initiative?
Can I use Lore Wisp for initiative?
It
doesn't change the
sure,
number,
if you
but
want.
it's funny.
Yeah, absolutely. You can use Lore Wisp
It's
for
the
initiative.
Same number.
Nice. Solid.
I mean, this is appropriate. The
Yeah.
two people that are related to the ghost that just showed up is just like,
We're a little out
huh.
of it.
Wait a minute, what?
Snap out of it.
I got a 16 total.
A 16 total. All right, we'll put you here. Calvin?
15 on the die plus 8 is 23.
Significantly better. How about Mocker?
Mocker is a little bit in shock right now, and he rolled a 1, so that's an 11.
Put you right down here. How about Corwin?
That's only a 16 with a 3. A bit less taken aback from, the whole
Between
spiritual.
you and Drevin, who's going first?
Probably
best
Drevin.
I go first.
All right. And these creatures will swoop down. There is the flicker wisp that you all have seen before. Let's see if I can. They don't have cards. We don't have cards for these, but yeah.
They're really pretty.
Thank you. They're awful looking actually. And then we have our good old friend.
We got some more of those little things if you want them.
You know what? I think I'm gonna take you up on that.
Nice. I like the sound it makes.
You're gonna need to bend it forward.
There we go. I got it. Just had to figure that out a little bit.
Just don't cover your face.
No. You don't need to cover me. You don't need to see me.
Okay, so that's what Nick looks like now.
Am I actually off camera? No.
No.
Okay.
Look, it's Nicolas Cage's best friend from that movie.
No.
Flicker with
Alrighty.
Cage.
And this thing is swooping down. We have... Calvin got a what now?
23. Yeah.
23. And these things are going to get right here. And we are ready to go. So, swooping down from the ceiling, and these are still going to flutter pretty high above the area, as we have this kind of orange-looking glow, which Drevin is going to recognize as a will-o-wisp. Exploration actions, by the way, might kick off. Was anyone recalling knowledge?
That's me.
Okay, so what's your lore wisp?
7.
7.
I know it's a wisp.
You know it's a wisp, and of particular you know about wisps is that they tend to be pretty resistant to most magic. Only very particular things. Although you're not sure about that larger wisp, but you think that you've heard that only elemental stuff doesn't tend to work too well on the flicker wisps. You remember that. Mocker, you're using...
Esoteric lore plus 11.
Yes. You will actually also know the same way. They're very resistant to magic. Only very particular effects can actually really have any effect on them whatsoever. They do fly, and they also tend to feed on fear and confusion, and so have ways of actually causing those on their foes. You also know that you've heard that there is a special type of fire that can work on them.
Huh. Special fire? What kind of special fire?
That kind of comes from necklaces. Let's go.
There you go.
This is a 40-foot room, right?
It's high, but it's certainly not that great. This thing is going to swoop down in front of Drevin, who's the closest thing there, and it's going to let out a shocking corona of energy, which will kind of ground itself on the surrounding. It looks very intimidating, but doesn't seem to have any effect on you. And then the wisp will fly up high into the air, retreating away, and float up looking down at you, like it's almost feeling you out. Calbum, why don't you go ahead? Because it rolled a 1.
It literally walked in and went, boo.
Yeah, he walked in, went boo, and then left.
It actually walked up and said, "Jump scare."
Yeah, on a 1.
Okay. So we're to assume that these things do not mean us.
They are quite clearly hostile.
They mean ill will. Mm-hmm. All right. So first, I'm gonna cast guidance on Drevin.
Okay.
So
I get a +1.
+1 to something. Whatever is relevant at the time, and then we're gonna pew a couple of cat toys for the other 2 actions I have, and they just hit because they're magic missiles, or whatever it is that they call it now in Pathfinder.
I believe it's
remastered.
Force barrage.
I think if it's a magic missile to spell, it is force barrage. I think if it's the one, like the mage one action one, it's force bolt.
Yeah.
So which one are you targeting? Are you targeting
the one that came and gave a sniff?
that gave you a boo?
Yeah.
Okay.
The big boy.
Yeah, the big one, the orangey one.
What's your damage?
Oh yeah, right. I have to roll damage. I forgot that I don't do regular. Just there you go.
I do something and it works.
Yeah.
He declared boop.
You just have to take all the cat toys and throw them in the air, and however many land in the
Yeah,
tray
that's what I
is
did.
how much damage you deal.
That's what I did. I don't have that many actually. So I did 7 points of force damage to
The cat toys
Yeah.
slam into it, kind of jolting it a little bit, and bits of its essence get blasted
That's
away.
right. You're not immune to all magic. And that's it.
And we're up to these things. These things are going to swoop up. This one will kind of move right in front of Drevin, and it will flicker, which is very, very disorienting. Give me a will save.
Do I have enough of a will to even recognize it's happening? Probably not. That's a 19 on the die. 28 total.
28 total. You just close your eyes. You've seen these things before. You know it's and it comes down and it's completely ineffective.
It's just like, hey, flashbang, and I'm like, Okay.
The second Flicker Wisp will come in, and Mocker, you're going to give me a will save.
Well, Mocker doesn't know what these things are either, but he thinks they're really funny and cool.
Well, you have seen one before.
They're walking
so maybe.
flashbangs.
So that's a 17 on the die for a total of a 25.
25. You close your eyes and kind of word it away. It's normal success. You're fine. Well, they tried. Drebin, you're up.
That's it.
Well,
They just go and the bright and the okay.
They moved and took 2 actions. That's what they get.
Fair. I'm gonna take a second to actually think about the Will-o'-the-Wisp and recall a knowledge on it specifically.
Sure.
With Lure Wisp. Is that secret check or?
Yeah, I suppose it would be.
Yes. +7.
So, whoops. So you think about this thing, and
You can villain point that roll if you want. It'd be funny. You did roll it.
I did roll it. So you look at this thing, and you remember that will-o'-wisps are creatures that feed on fear, but if you can actually throw them off balance, you can actually inhibit their ability to do that. So they're actually vulnerable to being intimidated.
I will relay that to the group, and then I will try to smash the one that is in front of me, because this one looks like it is much less of a problem.
Indeed. Go ahead and roll to hit.
Just a big old two-handed swing.
I think
Is
that's
that cocked?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
It stayed.
All right. Do you have the aberration oath, by the way?
No,
Okay.
I have shining only
I got you.
For now.
for now. I was considering also taking aberration. I'm not
These
sure
things are
yet.
totally aberrations.
Yeah. And that will be a 23 to smack. Rolled a 12.
You actually connected with it.
Yeah.
It's floating in the air. You swing your thing right through it.
Not undead, so I don't get my disrupting rune, but I do deal 13 bludgeoning and magic damage.
Thing is jolts away badly and it's kind of bobbing in the air.
So seeing as that seemed to work,
You
Well-
suck.
You don't need that.
Does
Yeah.
indeed seem to work.
no, seeing as that seemed to work surprisingly well, I'm just going to go on ahead and do it again.
Sounds good to me. Let's see if you can do it.
That's a 17 on the die. That's exactly
That's
5
exactly the
higher.
same. Yeah, so
I
you-
think I did it again.
You connect with it.
You also have guidance, so it could be one more even than that.
Yeah, why not? Guidance on that.
That one hits a little
Guidance
harder.
is +1.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have it.
you hit
and I
it,
lose
yeah.
it if
You
I...
use it on
I think it
saves,
technically
too.
happens to the next attack, so your first attack was actually 1 higher.
You get to choose.
No, I get to choose when I use it.
Oh, really?
It's an attack roll, a saving throw, or a skill check.
Right, I thought it was the
But it's at
next
the
one
end
you
of my
used.
turn.
Yeah, you've only got 1 turn to use it. But
Yep.
yeah, that's fine.
That's
That's
definitely
cocked.
cocked.
The dice was standing straight up on one of its sides. Minimum damage. That is only going to be a follow-up for 5.
5 damage. The thing explodes into motes of light, which flicker and disappear. Seems that this could be an easy fight after all.
You don't know. It's never that easy.
That doesn't seem right at all.
Corwin, you're up.
I'm just gonna kind of look at these weird wisps that have shown up a moment, and over to the ghost floating beside us. Just, I'm assuming you had a good sword in life.
Yes, take it, take
And
it.
just goes down and reaches and pulls the rapier off the skeleton's belt.
You reach down and pull his sword, and it slides free of its sheath, gleaming silver in the flickering bioluminescence. It appears to be quite a fine weapon.
Doesn't even process like this is better than anything I have. Otari was a legend. Any equipment he has is going to be better than what I have. And just rushes forward towards this other wisp that's in front of Drebin and just goes to stab at it with the blade.
You splash into the water, again up to your waist, and spear up at this thing.
Sword I'm not quite used to using, though, unfortunately, with the 2 on the die. Is
Bounce
just
it
kind
off, bounce.
of... I'm used to swinging a short sword, less fencing.
Exactly. Otari starts calling out suggestions. No. Grip it a bit further, and you need to put your hand behind you when you lunge to maintain your balance. Mocker, you're up.
Najee's like, I hate watching amateurs. And he'll go around.
Talk's a good game.
And he's really interested in the big wisp. So I'm going to focus up on him for my esoteric lore check.
Sure thing. The big wisp is floating high above you, but you still have a good view of it. Go ahead and give me that esoteric lore check.
Because they seem to have the little ones in hand. I'm not super worried about them.
Do you want us to move your mic to the other side?
No, I'm fine.
Too late for that.
That's a nat 20. So that's a 31 total.
His name is
Alright.
Fred.
His name is dead.
I'm gonna need like how he became a wisp. Like, what's his backstory?
I'm going to...
What's his favorite food?
Wisps are just jerks. That's kind of
That's
how that
fair.
works out. So this thing is, man, you've got it pegged. This thing does indeed feed on fear. And you think that, Dreven's suggestion to intimidate these things, it's actually not too far off the mark. If with the proper chiming esoterica, if you threw out like a battle cry as you demonstrated courage while stringing at it, you think it would be a very powerful personal antithesis. It does not have a natural mortal weakness for you to exploit, however.
That's fine, because I am going to go over to it. How far up off the ground is it?
Out of your easy reach.
I'm going to go take a jumping leap off the wall, and I'm going to try to slice up at it.
Okay, so
Legolas
you're gonna have to
style.
wade out into the water, and it is extremely difficult terrain.
That's fine. Then I'll just move, and I'll prepare to do it next turn.
Okay, very good. It's going to be quite difficult, but the natural cave walls will at least give you something of a climbing foothold. Maybe something could work out.
Yeah, I got a plan.
All right, so this wisp is going to kind of hover over the group of you, and it's going to pulse, and then it almost seem to expand in all of your visions, and a sort of a skull face will leer at you, and you get this feeling of sort of a contempt and an anticipatory hunger will wash over all of you. Go ahead, give me a will save, every single one of you.
This is actually my best one.
Alrighty, that's a
perfectly average.
28 with a 19 on the die.
Okay.
21, 10 on the die.
21, 10 on the die.
I fail. That
That's
might be worse
appropriate.
than fail, sir. That's a 3 on the die.
Yeah.
That's
That's
appropriate.
13 total, though.
13 total. Okay, yep. Something, it's a critical fail. That's a pass. What did you get?
Look,
21.
21's a fail. What did Mocker get?
knowledge checks are my thing. Will checks, not so much. This is the second nat 1 I've rolled on a will save today.
Critical fail. All right, so we've got frightened 2, frightened 1, and you're fine.
I'm a paladin. I'm here to smash.
You are
I don't have time to be
indeed.
afraid.
You go, the wisp is then going to swoop down to Mocker, and a sort of an electrical blast will shoot out towards you.
Is that a concentrate action?
No, it's an attack, actually, for a 27.
Figured I'd ask. That is a normal success.
Normal success will hit you for some damage.
And you will receive 6 less of this as the shield from Sarenrae slides between you and the attacker.
So 6 less, you said?
Yes.
So you're going to take 6 electrical damage.
That's dangerous if we're standing in water.
It's okay. It's fine. His hair is all up on end.
Calbum, you're up.
I ain't scared of you. maybe
He says, hiding behind
Yeah.
his party.
Peeking over a rock.
I
I'm
ain't
not
scared
afraid
of
of
you.
you.
I'm terrified.
I ain't scared of you. I ain't scared of you as long as you stay way over there. I'm. Yeah. All right. So, a bit of a little. He pulls out from his cloak. He pulls out a wet toy that smells like kerosene, essentially.
Uh-huh.
And then he.
The best thing to keep in your pocket.
Hey, listen, it's good for you.
Who could have kerosene this coming?
He throws the kerosened item at the wisp that's trying to attack.
The will-o'-the-wisp.
Yeah, that one. The wheel of
The same one you
yeah.
hit last time.
Correct.
Okay.
Let's see if I can hit it.
Subtract 2 from your frightened
I can't
condition.
hit it.
Okay, it goes wide.
It goes. I ain't scared. I ain't scared. He maybe a little.
And speaking of being scared, he shields himself.
I'm not scared of you. I'm scared of the guy behind
Scared of
you.
what I'm gonna do to you.
You're scared of what I'm gonna do to you.
I make
Alrighty.
myself scared sometimes.
That's right. I'm so terrifying.
This sort of like this lesser wisp, which is kind of floating in front of Corwin here, is going to flicker and pulse, and a jolt of electricity will again reach out for an 18.
That does not hit.
Does not hit you.
Got a new lightning rod in hand. Just kind of flick it up towards the ceiling.
Oh, well done, well done. Kind of Otari calling out encouragement, and then it's going to kind of again pulse in a bit, and it starts to it's almost shrink down and glow very brightly. Drevin.
I will be holding as there is no way for me to currently engage.
Sounds good. Corin, what you want to do?
Just gonna try to get up beside my cousin here.
Okay,
Give Drevin some space to move.
the thing is in the way, so how do you want to try to get past it?
Just kind of gonna keep the blade up and just sort of sidestep slightly.
You stay right there, bud.
Acrobatics thing, trying to tumble through essentially.
Give me a roll. You are going to have a little bit of a penalty to this because it's hard to acrobatics when you're wading through water.
Stumble through.
Yeah, a little bit. It's a 17 on the die plus 7 for a 24 total.
And yet it's not too terribly difficult to you.
23, sorry.
Trying to get
Frightened one.
adjacent to Mocker, are you?
Yes,
You
just to
managed-
give Drevin space to move in.
You slosh through the water. That's about as far as you could get with that tumble through anyway. You are in extremely difficult terrain.
Yeah. And then from where I'm standing, gonna see how well I think I'm gonna be able to hit this thing. Trying to get used to a new weapon mid-combat is not great, and it looks like it's getting ready to do something. So
I
I
assume
don't
you're
want to do
striking
that.
that flicker wisp. Go ahead and roll it for me.
Yeah, devise a stratagem first.
Yep.
8 on the die. It's going to be 7, and I don't know what the modifier on this rapier is, so I'm going to base it off my normal weapon. That's only going to be... I think it might hit. Yeah, I'll go for it. 18 to hit.
18 to hit. The weapon is unfamiliar, yet very well balanced, and you're able to swing it up and slash through the center of it. Roll damage.
So what does this rapier do,
It
if
is
anything extra?
it's at least a striking rapier. So you go
Okay.
ahead and can use 2d6 for this.
Okay. That's going to be 3d6, because I get my stratagem damage also.
Unless they're immune. to
It's not
precision.
immune to precision damage for some reason.
And I get plus 4, because I'm using devise.
Intelligence to damage.
Ooh.
That's how investigators work.
14, 18 damage.
18 damage. Once again, exactly. You pierce this thing with it, and whatever it was doing doesn't seem to come to effect. You just kind of boop and vanishes.
Kind of give the rapier a look and... Oh, this is way easier than it looks like it is.
That's exactly what I'm saying. You let the sword do the work for you.
Naji's like, I know that.
And then I will step.
Naji's like, I always do the work for you.
I'll step in after his turn ends. Because there's room now.
There is room now.
And I'm going to wade myself up on over there.
Slosh, slosh.
To
That'll
this
make you there. You can.
Fine individual.
I think it's 2 stride actions for greater difficult, right? No, wait.
No.
1 stride action would get you.
It costs 15 feet of movement. For
It's 15,
greater.
not 10. It's all right. Okay,
Yeah.
so then that's
Normal
going to be
difficult.
15, and your move is 20, right?
Yes.
So,
it'd
yeah,
be
it can take 2 stride actions to make it up there. The thing is still floating above your heads, but it's up there.
Yeah. Well, you said it came down to zap.
The
The other
was-
one did.
The other one
No,
did.
this one did. It came down and attacked you.
I did, yeah.
It did.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because I used my reaction on that. Well, seeing as I have the opportunity, at least before it can move away again, I'm going to try to smash it down into the water.
Sounds good.
That is a 13 on the die for a 24.
24. You swing at this thing, and it just goes slightly transparent, and you swing right through it. This thing is tricky to hit.
It is a more powerful wisp, I would expect none of the less.
Indeed it is. Mocker, you're up.
Mocker has an idea of how these things move and how they work. And so he is going to whisper to Naji, and tell him to cut true. And then he's going to grin in this thing's face, showing him that he's not afraid. And he's going to say, "That's right. Fly away back up to the ceiling where it's safe, coward," and slice through him.
Very nice. Roll me to hit.
Okay, that is a 1 on the die, so I'm gonna probably go with a miss on that one.
that's
I can
it.
only roll 20s and 1s. I don't know what's up with that.
You swing at it, but apparently it's not very phased, and it just floats away ever so slightly. Your range completely spoiled by trying to wade through the water. It is it's very awkward here. Incidentally, you guys are all flat-footed, by the way.
Give me
You got 2 actions left.
I'm going to move around in the water and get flanking with Drevin.
Sloshing through the water to flank with Drevin.
And then we're gonna take one more smack at it.
Roll to hit.
That is a 19 on the die, so -5 is a 14, so that's a 25.
25. This thing goes to dodge out of the way. Drevin's hammer menaces it, and it halts just for a split second long enough. You just catch it.
Yay. Okay.
I think they found the number.
Yeah.
We found the DC, boys. AC. It's AC. We found the AC.
AC/DC.
It means the same thing.
When you're trying to hit something's AC is going good.
So
That's the
it's
DC of its
9, 10,
attack,
11,
or
12,
to be
13,
resisted of the
14.
attack.
It's gonna be 15 points of damage.
15 points. You cut through this thing, and Naji crying out a battle cry, and it flickers as a great amount of its essence is carved away from it.
Hey guys, hit it in the soul.
I don't think these have those.
This thing will pulse, and as it pulses, you can feel that skull-like jaw opens up gleefully, and you can almost feel that residual fear that is gripping you from your frightened condition almost flow into its mouth, and the wisp pulses, and actually you see it kind of re-solidify itself, almost as though it's feasting off of your fear.
Would
Right.
mine have ticked down at the end of my turn?
Would your what?
Frightened.
Your frightened would tick down at the end, just like normal.
So
It's
I'm
just
no longer frightened.
normal frightened condition. Yep.
So it's only drawing from 1 or potentially 2, depending on the range.
I'm having a really hard time with math for
Sometimes
some
small
reason.
numbers hurt.
You got a calculator over there.
Wow, that really hurt. No,
Like, I'm the same way.
I'm not gonna do it. And then this thing is going to float, just very carefully. This is the equivalent of a step. It's going to slide out this way and ruin the flanking, and then it will blast Mocker with more lightning. Mocker apparently being quite dangerous.
And you'll take 6 less, and it's getting hit in the face.
Bonk.
Yep. It's a 29 to hit you.
And I will miss the swing.
Miss the swing.
29 is a normal hit.
Normal hit. Whoop. That's going to be... okay, so it's 9 minus 6 is 3 lightning damage?
No.
Yes.
Dang.
I'm just
See how you guys are... Yes.
No, Nick, what are you talking about? That's some bad math you're doing there, man.
Pretty good right
it's only
there.
1.
Don't you gaslight me!
It's 42. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
No.
9 minus 6 is 2.
There's no such thing as gaslighting.
Making up words.
Stop making things up. And we're on to Calbum.
Calbum.
Taking Calbum off right now.
Yeah. Like, all right.
No, you'll get turned.
I'm only frightened 1, yeah?
Okay. You are now, yeah.
Yeah. Calvin goes, I said I ain't scared of you. I'm scared of water. And he points at the water. And the water, this is flavor on a spell. So the water turns into a very small rock and fires at the thing as a telekinetic projectile.
The water turns into a rock.
You just pick up a pebble from the bottom.
That's right. But it's a wet pebble because everything has to be wet.
I'm frightened of water. I'm shooting water at you.
That's right. No, I missed it.
That's a 7.
7 plus 9 is not the number.
Not the number. This thing's a little dodgy. You're having a
Yeah.
hard time getting a good.
Oh, you know what I do have though? So then that the wet rock
The way of
swings
water.
around and fires again, but it turns into force. Ha ha! I have a force bolt. Eat that.
Damage is damage.
Another 3 points of damage. Ha!
You did as much damage as the wisp did.
I ain't scared of you.
You did,
I'm scared of what
actually.
I'm gonna do to you. And I ain't scared anyway. No more.
Bad wisp.
Confidence restored.
Confidence restored. Corwin, you're up.
Well, this thing's moving around, and I'm still getting used to a weapon, but it seems to work pretty well. But gonna devise on this thing. It's real close to a wall, and I kind of don't want to hit the wall with my new weapon.
Gotta be careful.
I don't think an 8's gonna hit the big one though.
That's possible, yeah.
So instead, I am going to ready an action to aid Drevin's attack.
Okay. You ready you ready an aid action.
Yep.
Drevin, you're up.
Well, I'm going to immediately proc that.
Yeah. And this is gonna +4 to because of human stuff.
Sounds
So
good.
you're
What the
trying
feat
to
name is.
avoid hitting the wall. I'm trying
Nice.
to hit it against the wall.
So that's a 29 plus 4
So 30
You rolled
for a
18 on
33
to aid.
to aid.
So,
you
it's
got plus
still
one.
DC 20 to aid, right?
Yes.
It's not this.
So
So,
you
that's
get
a
a
critical
plus
success.
2.
That's +2.
So I'm only
Excellent.
trained in attacks.
Doesn't matter. I rolled a 6.
Yeah, that's not
So-
gonna matter. So, but you have 2 actions left.
Yeah.
Help where I can.
That's a 3. And then this one is a 4.
Swinging up at it with no compunction about damaging your weapon on the rock wall. You're making
the
shipping
wall.
bits.
The wall is gone.
Maybe I should be ready in action to dive out of the falling rubble.
Dust and stone bits are falling on Corwin's head. He's like, "Oh God,
Who knew this wall was a fake?
yeah, it's a fake wall." I know.
There's a room behind there.
There's
Knew it.
diamonds in here somewhere.
This is what happens when you give your dog a pool.
Yeah.
It's just jumping in and out of the
Yeah,
waters.
Mocker is up.
Mocker will sidestep up against the wall to see if he can flank with Corwin.
Indeed, you do. It's a stride action, sloshing through the water.
And then he'll look at it and he'll go, "Stay still, you flaming skull thing!" And Najee will go, "Yeah, and how?" And then
So intimidating.
slice into him.
Just imagine, Mocker's way more imposing than Jen is.
No. Mocker is not at all imposing. He's not even trained in intimidation. He's
fair.
like literally like a kitten.
Najee is there to be the intimidator.
Najee is trained in intimidation.
Get it! Get him!
Turns out many people are intimidating when they swing a sword towards you.
It's
It
the
definitely
sword
is an
that's-
intimidating action, that's for sure.
Oh, that's a 7, not a 1, so we're gonna take it. But that's still only a 17.
Yeah, nowhere near.
You got
One action
I
left.
got 1 action left.
Hit it again. Hit it again.
good fish for 20s, that's all I'm saying.
Put craters in the wall like I did.
I am going to put a crater in the wall for sure.
Oh, man.
Let's do it.
Oh boy, Najee's hitting stone again. That ain't gonna be a
He doesn't
good
like that too
conversation.
much.
Ting.
But he could also be hitting Wisp. Let's see what she rolls.
No, that's a 3 on the die. I'm not hitting anything.
Sparks are struck from the wall, and Najee complains bitterly.
Well, then stop missing.
Otari is again. Well, look, I'm not used to like a falchion type thing, but maybe like if you,
She hit an altar earlier, don't worry about it.
Otari is canonically a mansplainer.
yeah, he's doing his best.
No, that's not how you swing a sword. You swing a sword like this. Wait, let me show you how to do it.
Otari is going to be like, well, all right, look, you look pretty rugged. We'll try it this way. And Otari will vanish from the island and erupt from Drevin's shadow and lunge up at the Wisp. And the Wisp will be caught off guard by this and will his hand will scrape through the Wisp's structure.
That's a neat trick.
Causing a fair bit of damage, and I have to go and actually,
A fair bit of damage, he
That
says,
was
before he
damage right
one-shots it.
He grabs the wisp.
Hey, you didn't one-shot it. I think I've done the most damage to this wisp.
and
so
then-
No, I'm saying
He-
it, like the damage itself, just hundreds of zero.
Yeah.
he will vanish and sink back down into your shadow and reappear where he was. And Drevin, you feel a little green around the gills. You kind of cough a bit. Give me a fortitude save.
Great, now you have Otari fever.
25.
25.
Not enough.
You
Critical
kind of
fail.
like, kind of cough and shake it off a bit, but you feel that it clears before too long. Are you all right?
When the hell was that?
It looks like we wanted to take advantage of it. While before it could, and then it kind of glows broadly again. You still frightened, or you guys lose it?
I'm cleared.
You're cleared?
It's been 2 rounds, yep.
The thing is going to pulse again. And again, that wave of terror is going to radiate out from it. So will saves from all... Calbum's actually out of line of sight.
right, I ain't scared of you.
I rolled a 19 again.
Is that a concentrate action?
It is a concentrate action.
Yes, it is getting smacked.
No
hard.
one's ever ready for the concentrate actions provoking. It's just not.
That's why I'm always asking. It's only a 6 on the die, though, so I don't think that's going to do it.
Gonna miss then with that. But will saves all around. 19 total?
On the die.
On the die, okay.
22 here.
22 is a regular fail.
Yeah, wasn't sure I failed by 1, so.
17.
17 is a critical fail.
I'm out of the way. I ain't scared.
You ain't scared.
I ain't
That's right.
scared of nothing.
You're hiding.
28
28?
total.
28 total, you are not at all afraid. So frightened 2, frightened 1. And then it's going to glow again, and it's going to, you'll see it kind of feed on this brand new fear it's just caused. And again, it's looking pretty ragged from Otari's hit, but it's gonna try to piece itself back together. And then it's going to start to fly straight up into the air, out of your reach. Your reaction is already spent, so you can't hit it. But it's gonna end its move high in the air above you all, leering down at you with hatred. Calbum, what do you want to do?
Calbum walks to the... just takes like a little 5-foot step so he can see it.
Yep.
And it can give me a reflex save?
It can give you a reflex save. What you hitting it with?
There's like a little... I hesitate to say...
Is it a wet cat
There's
toy?
a wet cat toy.
Is it a wet cat toy?
that
Oh,
fires
They're all
God.
wet. They're always
They're all wet.
So you
Sports
fling this
rules
wet
so
cat
much.
toy up, and it just passes right through it with no
And
effect.
it hits the wall, and the wall melts as the acid from the wet cat toy.
What are you feeding your cat that does that?
Listen, you don't want to know.
No,
Spork eats basically everything.
I do. I'm going to be working with acid here soon.
Well, we'll talk.
You have one act. No, that's actually.
I actually do have one action. Oh, no, I don't, because I moved. Yeah, that's right.
Corwin, you're up.
Look, if you're going to take over anyone to go swinging at them, I got your blade. Go for it.
It's not really a blade thing. It's
I meant your ghost possessed me. I don't know.
it's not exactly how it
Possess
works.
me, daddy.
I don't like possessing things necessarily. He actually looks a little embarrassed as you say that. I mean, Look, I do my best, and normally I think my ghostly powers, it would be... He starts monologuing, trying to explain how his ghostly powers
Joe looks to see where he can hit this, if he can even think to hit this thing, if he can get into range of it.
You are out of range of it, but
I can still devise.
You can still devise, yep.
Just throw the rapier.
12 might do it.
Might do it.
We're flanking.
Well, you're not anymore.
No, because I'd have to get up to it.
It's up in the air.
Oh, it's up in the air. That's right.
Yeah, I don't think with flanking, because I'm frightened one, I don't think a 12 is going to do it. So instead, just going to shift himself up the wall a bit.
You're gonna try to
And
climb?
well, not climb necessarily, just like kind of get adjusted with the free hand out of the water a little bit. Enough so he can try to aid the next person to go to strike it.
You're not going to be able to aid it unless it somehow comes within range of you.
Yeah.
Okay. So you will
I guess I
an
could aid
action.
I could aid Mocker to try and get up to it.
Oh, that'll be good. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. You kind of you get ready. You get ready to kind of make a
Just kind
foothold
of
to fling him up.
Arm down, just go up. I don't know.
Oh yeah, it's
Climb
happening.
me.
Drevin, you're up.
Waist deep in water. I can't get that thing easy.
How high is it?
It is out of your convenient melee range. Maybe probably 10 feet up, so
about
5 feet out of your reach.
High enough that I can high jump and smack it?
You are waist deep in water. Makes it incredibly difficult to high jump.
Move action will get me 2 squares, which is the 10 feet required for a longer high jump.
Right, but you are in waist deep in water that you're
Yeah.
having to jump out of. I'm not saying you can't do it. I'm saying it's going to be really, really
I
hard.
can meet the criteria for doing a high jump, and then as part of, like, at the peg, like, jump up, and then can I hit it?
You can jump and swing. Sure, I'll let you do that.
then I will spend my entire turn basically moving 2 squares, jumping as high as I can, and then trying to hit it
Slosh.
to meet the criteria for performing high jump. I don't believe a 15... I don't know, because it's not that hard to jump like 3 feet.
It is really hard.
It's
if you're
incredibly
waist deep in
hard.
water.
That's fair, actually. Yeah.
It's also
15
hard to do as a
total.
person.
It's a 15 total?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, you are not. You try to jump
I
out of the
just
water,
don't
and the
make
water
it.
just sucks you right back down.
Well, if I don't even get off the ground, I still got my
You still have an action left.
third action.
Take a bath.
No, you have to be trained in intimidation to intimidate. Because I was going to just...
There's no way Demoralize is trained
It's trained only.
Demoralize is trained only?
Yep.
Almost positive.
I'm going to say it's not.
All right, well then...
Of course, you'd have to run away. What are you afraid of us?
That is... I believe that's a 14.
Total?
13 total. Yeah.
13 total,
To roll
okay.
a 12.
That's less than its bonus, so
Yeah.
it's not going to work, but... You know, it was good. Fishing for 20s. Mucker!
Quite literally. I am untrained in diplomacy, intimidate, and deception.
And you're in water, so it's easy to fish.
So Mocker, seeing what his cousin's going for, is like, yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Is going to kind of. Oh, I know what I'm gonna do. So I'm gonna take out a python, like a climbing python.
Okay.
Smash it into the
Throw
wall.
it at the will-o'-the-wisp.
Smash it into the wall, and then use it as a handhold to literally swing himself over to give himself enough lift out of the water to use his hand jump to throw him up.
Okay. All right. That's clever. I like that. You will. Do you have
One
a
action.
Do you have a climbing kit?
Yeah.
You have a climbing kit? Okay.
I do have a climbing kit.
Because I could pull supply off and
Nope,
just give it to
I
you
have a
if you
climbing
want.
kit. Like, I bought one.
All right. Cool. So you are going to. We'll say the python is in action with the climb up the wall in action with his assist.
And then I just get one attack. That's pretty much how I was
Sounds
thinking.
good to me. Roll me your thing.
Well, he's assisting.
That's a 19 on the die. What am I rolling to assist with here?
Athletics.
So plus 4 gets me to 23. Minus 1, 22. I succeed.
Hey!
You're untrained in athletics. Okay.
I'm absolutely untrained in
All
athletics,
right.
and
That
I'm wearing
doesn't
heavy
stop
armor.
you from aiding.
+1. You're not wearing heavy armor.
Well, he's also.
I'm wearing heavy armor for someone with 10 strength.
Okay, it's heavy for you.
Yes.
He technically
It's
has a
also wet.
+4 because he's human.
Yeah, that's why. That's the only
That's the
reason
only
I
reason it
succeeded
works.
is I
So
rolled
you're
a
gonna get +1
19
to this.
and
Oh,
and have a
baby.
+4.
Corwin's spindly medic arms are enough to get you up a little
I
bit.
like his spindly
Thankfully,
arms.
it's just the shift. Most of the wall is taken just like up extra 2 inches.
That's only going to be a 5 on the die, though, so I don't think that's going to do it.
Yeah, probably.
Flanking and a +1.
Not flanking.
Not. No, it's not the attack roll. That's to get out
This
of
is
the
to get
water.
out of the
Oh,
water.
get out of the water. Okay.
Yeah, what's your total?
17.
It's a 17. You're spending a hand on. You're spending a hand, and you have assistance to get out. I will let you swing at it with a -2.
Okay. I
'Cause
need
you'll
a
be
20.
Barely at the edge.
I need a 20.
Oh, you need an 18.
No, I need a 20. That's a 14.
14 plus...
24, 22.
22. Yeah, not quite enough.
Would it be flanking? Because I'm still threatening it. She's on the other side of it.
You are not at all threatening. It's not
Well,
in your range.
more importantly, I'm also
That's fair.
frightened too, so...
Oh, yeah, you've frightened 2. Now frightened 1.
That's really hard.
That's
yeah,
why.
Yeah. The thing is going to swoop away around it, and it's going to look down at the lot of you, and
I'm going to stick my tongue out.
stick your tongue out at it. I'm gonna.
We're still fighting. We clearly ain't scared. You ain't getting a meal out of us.
Can it eat us?
I mean,
Knocker almost kind of wants to pull his book out.
they're supposedly, from what Drevin told me, they drink fear or something.
It's going to float over behind Drevin and fly down within range. And it is going to, again, blast out electricity at you. And you can feel that it's a little unsure of itself. It's going to blast out. It's only a 20. It's not used to this. And then it's going to try to fly away from you again. Again, trying to fly up higher into the air. It's not sure if it's afraid of you all or if it's afraid of Otari being able to lash out at you through the shadows. What you gonna do, Calvin? It looks like it's getting cagey.
It's a cage match. This is your specialty.
It's water, though. I'd be like in chin deep water if I went in there.
Throws a cat at it.
I mean, cat's
Cat's
climbing on the wall.
I will cast Guidance on Drevin because I can.
I already had it.
Oh, he's immune for an hour.
Oh, right.
But you can pick
Yes.
somebody else.
I could. No, I'm gonna use shield because.
Does no one have a ranged weapon, by the way?
I do.
No.
It's just I'm not in a position to really get to it.
range weapons
I don't
are for
have any
cowards
ranged weapons.
like me?
I have a hammer.
I'm going to, because it's going to keep flying out of range. I'm going to pull it out now. I just haven't.
Just wondering, it's like, surely someone in the party has a ranged weapon.
I have a bow.
Here's a ranged weapon. Wet cat toy flies at it. Ooh, actually, that might hit it. AC 28.
What spell is it?
It's ignition. It's fire, like
No.
a firebolt.
It's going to pass right through it.
Hey, listen,
uneffectively.
it's still on fire though. Okay,
I mean,
it happened.
You hit it,
Yeah,
but it would have.
yeah,
Yeah,
I hit
it's
it.
unfortunately does not appear to affect it.
All right. Well, that was-
Elemental, my dear Calvin.
Listen, I know, but I gotta find. He said something about fire maybe working. I don't know. Anyway, it didn't work. So whatever. I shield myself and I sit here.
Sorry. Corwin.
Gonna recall on this thing.
Yep.
Occultism.
That'll work.
I don't know what the options are. So
What's your bonus?
if it is occultism, it is plus 10. It pretty much is plus 10 if it's anything that's not crafting.
All right. Yeah. What are you looking for? Anything in particular? Or you just want some general information?
Mostly to help Calbum with what these things, what he can and can't hit these things with. 'Cause,
Didn't somebody get a 20 on this?
some-
Wouldn't they have told me that?
well, some things have worked and some haven't. Plus, you
Yeah.
only get limited info.
And some people have dubious knowledge.
Yep.
If you, as far as damaging stuff,
Like,
magic
what-
missile is literally one of the only things that can work.
It's
on this.
mostly because he's seen him do it. Would the telekinetic projectile work on hitting this thing? Because he's
You don't
throwing
think-
an object at
You
it.
don't think so? Interestingly enough, for some reason, telekinetic projectile is a weird one, but
I mean, you're propelling an object with magic, so he doesn't know how magic works.
well, apparently, so. You have heard, and what you know about this is that these things are incredibly resistant to magic. So it might not even be the physical object itself, but the magic propelling it that it seems to be immune to.
Which is weird on how physics that works.
I don't know how to
Yeah.
describe that. However, it doesn't mean that you can't use magic indirectly to affect it. So, for example, you could perhaps try to knock something from the ceiling down onto it. You could use magic to throw a physical object like a mage hand or a telekinetic maneuver. Try to go throw a net over it. There's options you could do. It's not like magic is entirely ineffective. You just cannot directly affect it with most magic. That's what you're gonna get out of it.
Just kind of maybe try hitting the ceiling. I'm not sure if there's a loose spot there, Calvin, but you might be able to knock something onto it.
I got you.
And just set the sword on one shoulder, grab the bow off his back, pull it out for a swap action.
Swap
and
action, new
fire
thing.
off. Swap action is the best freaking part of Remaster. It's so good. Why spend 2 actions when you can spend 1?
Really nice.
11 on the die plus 11, so 22.
22. Not gonna hit it.
Yeah, kind of.
Drevin, pick me up and put me on your shoulders. This is 2 heads are better than 1.
How about I just climb up there and get it?
That could work too.
Roll me an athletics check.
Yep. And I will stow my hammer
Okay.
and then climb the wall.
It's not a difficult climb.
28.
You climb right up next to it. You bite it.
Because you have to have, if you don't have combat climber, you have to have both your hands on the wall. But I have a bite attack.
But you have a bite attack. This is amazing.
Come on.
I hope this works.
Bitey
Just for the hilarity.
McBiterson.
That'll work.
That's gonna be a 27 to launch.
You hit it.
Nom, 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 nom,
Oh
nom,
my
nom.
god.
What
Roll
do
the
wisps
damage.
taste like?
Yeah, what's it taste like?
About to find out.
Fear.
What would it taste
Ozone.
like?
Ozone.
Yeah, maybe. No, carbonated Jello. That's what it tastes like.
Delicious.
7 bite damage.
So bubbly.
As I crunch down on Wisp.
Way to go, Jaws.
The thing
You
looks
crunched down on
really
Jell-O.
hurts. You did some serious damage to it.
Wait,
It's-
that's illegal. What are you doing?
It's like freaking out. What is happening?
And that is all 3 of my actions.
Mocker, you're up.
I eat your fear. You don't eat mine.
Like attack.
All right, Mocker cannot be out-cooled. Mocker's...
Demonstrably, he can be.
Mocker...
Shown on several occasions.
You're right, Mocker is not a cool kid. He's an absolute nerd. Mocker is going to go over to Corwin and say, all right, I'm going to climb on your shoulders and we're going to be one man.
That will not work.
Toss me.
You go to the most spindly armed man in the party.
You
and ask
go
him
to put an
pick you
arm
up.
on his shoulder and he's already leaning over.
We're gonna play chicken. Put me on your shoulders.
You will drown me if you try this.
All right, Mocker's going to go over to the wall where Drevin is. And,
And I'm just going to stand on your shoulders.
no, that's exactly what we're going to do. All right, you've got him. Throw him at me. And I'm going to prepare an attack in case he comes down.
Okay. Ready in action.
Yeah.
You've said carbonated Jello, and the only thing in my mind now is Fanta-based Jello, because it's bright orange.
I mean, Fanta?
Fanta.
He wants to Fanta.
No.
Want a
it's-
Fanta?
No, stop.
At this point, Otari will kind of look and says, well, it went fine the last time.
Dad's gotta come save us.
And Otari is again going to reach his hand out, and at this point, almost a spectral net will go out, catching and winding its way around the wisp, which seems to hold it fairly securely. The wisp appears to have to make a reflex save. And I rolled a 3.
It's pinned.
The wisp gets
Splashes in water.
entangled and starts to slowly start to drift downward. Give me a fortitude save, Drevin.
22. I already rolled it.
Okay. You start, that cough's a little bit more persistent this time. Oh dear.
It's just from the wisp in your throat. Don't worry about it.
I'm sure it'll clear up. I was able to get over it fairly well. Oh, well, actually.
I think that was more
just
the
kidding.
broken ribs.
Entangled by the net, this wisp is going to drift down, and it's just going to start blasting electricity all around it. Drevin,
22.
we've got a natural 1 to hit you.
Yeah. I bit it. It's spooked.
Mucker, we've got I'm using a villain point. Oroku-san,
we know
help,
how well these
thank
go.
you.
Roll lower. We know what happens when you use a hero point.
Okay, so that die is going to go in jail, and
Yeah.
lightning is going to blast all
It's
around
got one
it.
more.
And as one more left, what die haven't I rolled yet? This one. All right, let's see. Who's
Land a
going
hit
after?
so I can bite it again.
Hi, Drevin. It's going after Drevin. Blast coming for you. I rolled the 3 on that one.
Yeah, almost. You almost got me. What was
Almost
the
got
total?
you.
Like a 7?
Blaring all around.
You almost had
He's
it.
blinded by the light.
Blinded
be
by the
quicker
light,
than that.
passed by this net that's around him. Calvin, what you want to do?
How far?
How far
up
down did he fall?
Yeah.
He fell down within melee range of both you and Mocker.
Then can I use my prepared attack?
Oh, you totally can. I forget
Yeah.
you've done that. Gelatinous
Hit it,
Montague.
hit it.
Well, I can only roll 20s and 1s, my guy, so
Yeah,
it's
you're-
going to go
you're
real
either
well
gonna
or
get-
real
yeah.
bad. No, 4
Yeah.
on the die. So not going to happen.
Calvin, what you gonna do?
I can't
It's
roll
not.
in the middle of the spectrum.
It's not armed, so I can't disarm it. Can I trip it?
Technically, you can't even see it right now.
No, you can see it. It's a little glowy ball inside of a
well,
spectral net.
I probably can't. I probably don't have visual on it.
He's kind of got a big old
Yeah,
cave wall.
that's true. You probably don't. You could wade forward and we'll swim.
There's this weird, like, half-foot
Yeah.
U-bend that's
Kitty,
just...
Or
kitty
you
paddling.
could start eating popcorn with Otari.
Yeah, I'm just gonna hang out.
Hey, how's your day?
Learn his shadow trick. while
Redeem
you're
villain
over
point. Oroku-san, I beg of you, please roll better, Monster Man. I only get so many points this session. I'm so sorry.
No, we know what Nick rolling with a villain point or hero point does.
Don't
It
you
gets
put
worse.
that evil on me, Ricky Bobby.
I'm just gonna hold my action. I can't see it, so I don't know what's going on.
Sounds good. Corwin.
Well, this thing is not trying to ranged attack a thing that's sinking in a net between two people.
A spectral net.
I'm assuming it's gonna have cover. but I'm gonna go for it because trying to get over there is gonna be real hard.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't have that much cover, actually, because Dreven's actually above it, so...
Yeah, I'm 10
Yeah, fair.
feet up right now.
Well, that's a bit more better of a line of sight.
A
but,
bit more better.
I'm gonna guess.
Go
and
guess.
devise.
Roll to guess.
We're gonna devise. That's an 11 on the die.
That's decent.
I'm not frightened. It's in a net, so it might be off guard.
It might be off
I'm
guard.
gonna go for it. So that's going to be a 22 total.
22?
22.
Even off guard, it's gonna miss. One action left.
You're not too beat up.
Nah, I'm fine.
I mean, I'm just gonna go for another shot
Shoot
with
it
bow.
again!
This is at a -5. That's 12. Not gonna hit.
That's me.
Dreven!
Alrighty.
Popper.
So, order of operations question.
God dang it. I hate these.
Drawing my weapon
Yup.
means I'm no longer holding onto the wall, which means I would then fall.
Falling's
Yeah,
free
Makes
action.
sense.
Falling is a free action.
It's not a free action, it just happens.
But at any point during that, it's in my range and I can strike it. So I'm going to dive bomb it with a hammer.
You know what? I'll allow it. Cool, man. Let's make this happen. I
You
like
also
it.
don't take fall damage till after 10 feet. so-
Exactly.
It's gonna
You're
land in
falling
water.
You're not
It's gonna
taking
land in
fall
water.
damage at all.
Yeah, exactly.
So-
So he doesn't land prone.
I'm going to just
taking
let
slap
go of
damage.
the wall, pull the hammer as I'm falling back, and then turn around and jump at it, swinging down.
I love it. Let's make it happen.
Anime moves.
25 to its flat-footed.
25 to its flat-footed. You'll connect.
Hammer for 7 damage.
What happens to it?
It gets pushed down into the water by just being tackled by a hammer and then a knoll and then splashed into the water, and it never resurfaces, just dissipated
The
down
light
into the depths.
flickers and goes out.
Hammer.
I was gonna do that.
Yeah, but I beat you to it.
He's got the only hammer, so I don't think so.
Oh, well done. Well done, everyone.
Set the bow back and pull the blade back
Otari
out.
legit stole my move. Like, I was like, telekinetic mover. I have that, actually.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Slosh back over to the island.
As soon as it happened, I was like, oh, well, I guess I don't know what to do now.
We're all very wet, very mopey, but we won.
That's a
Do I need
pretty
to roll another
cool sword,
fortitude
man.
save?
No, not yet.
Okay.
You're good.
yet,
Fine.
yet is doing a lot of
I
work
have
in that
advanced
sentence.
Filth fever.
Well, thank goodness. Those things, they've been hounding me for, goodness, it feels like centuries.
I mean, seems like something else is hounding you too.
What?
Given
this?
I
I died from this, but now it's just, well,
don't know if you can see it. Just kind of gesture to me and my cousin, point to where the last time I saw the hole on my body was.
I'm not really sure what you're talking about.
we don't
How are
talk
you-
about it.
He was there.
You feeling all right, sir? He kind of holds his hand up to your forehead, trying to feel your temperature.
He may not be aware of it. Sometimes those things happen without the spirit's awareness.
Oh, please don't talk to me like I'm not. Talk about me like I'm not here.
No, we had an encounter with a strange being here, and we both had a vision of you coming to save us, but it's possible that that happened in our minds, and it wasn't actually your spirit.
Possibly. These vaults, they're... We didn't really know anything about how deep these things went. We confronted Velcora in the lobby, essentially. There's all sorts of strange things that I've noticed. This place in particular is quite cursed. This was Velcora's personal retreat from what I've been able to gather from being trapped here. I can hear the moaning spirits of her cursed adversaries who met their end in this room, either tortured to death or entombed after the fact as a sort of a trophy for her. I can hear their disquieted cries, but what's worse, Velcora herself, her shade has awoken. It's currently bound deep below, but almost assuredly she's trying to rekindle her things again, her plans to bring ruin to Absalom, my home.
If we get rid of her, will that free you?
Well,
Or maybe in reverse, we get rid Sorry.
You know how long ago about she woke up?
fairly recently. Haven't seen the sun for quite some time, but it hasn't been long.
I don't know if it was her or something else, but she woke up the dead in Otari. Not you. There's a town named after you now.
What?
Yeah, the rest of the Rose Guard, little lumber town off on the coast, named it after you.
Oh. That's great to hear, actually.
Yeah, they're fine folk. I mean,
How did they do? Please, tell me how...
cousin knows the stories better than me.
Very well.
Wait, you actually have Rose Guard Lord.
Yeah, I do. I'm actually one
Roll
of the descendants of your friend.
Well, good. That's good. I'm glad they had good lives, and I'm glad they remembered me.
They lived well. They did you honor.
All of you do me honor for being here, for striking out against her once more. Look, the way below, Belcora would kind of turn part of this level into sort of a trophy gallery of adversaries she vanquished. Those spirits were trapped here, and she would gloat over them. But they sense her awakening, and they are desirous of revenge. But the way below is sealed. She works through cat's paws. She can't yet move freely. She has agents still that are loyal to her, and do be careful. There's something terribly powerful here, and something awful happened here before we came to put her to rest. But the way south the way further down, it can yet be opened. Me, my companions, your ancestors, defeated Belcora. Her magics with that sympathetic connection can be undone. You simply need to find tokens of my old compatriots, and the way deeper in can be broken in two.
The sword. Naji.
Oh, not my sword, certainly not. Don't get me wrong, a serviceable blade, but
No.
No, her.
No, my sword.
Something from family.
It's the ghost of my ancestor lives in this blade. This blade belonged to one of the original Rose Guard.
is it possible? And he kind of stares at it a bit.
What you looking at?
I thought I'd seen it before.
It's pretty violent from what Cousin's responds have. I can't hear it, but conversations don't sound too friendly most of the time. They're usually about stabbing people.
It's really angry, and it hates Belcora.
He kind of reaches out and touches it, and his hand touches the blade. And he kind of blinks for a bit, and then he grins his disease-pocked face, and he laughs. I couldn't hope for anything better. Goodness, Belcora's destiny does indeed bring her karma back around to her. All of you, that sword, my descendant, well, my relation. Please, that's one piece of it. Here, on my body, in that pouch,
Go over.
my
and-
set of thieves' tools. My pride and joy. True, I was a passable swordsman, but my true passion lay into the defeating of mechanical locks. And that there, yet another one. You simply find the relics associated with my old party. Brought together, I'm sure the resonance of them can go and disrupt it.
Oh, that's perfect. This is perfect. That's what we need.
Are they down here?
No, almost assuredly not. They likely brought them with them, but if they did indeed found the town, perhaps they'll know about where they can be found.
Oh, I know all about it. Oh, I have notes on this, but they're not with me.
I mean,
Knowing
the mayor
about your,
might know.
Knowing about your Rose Guard lore, actually, you can think of a few things. The Wizard's Spellbook, whose name escapes me at the moment. The sword that you carry, certainly one of them. And there was also the Menham's House brooch. Would indeed have been one of the items also, because goodness gracious, I just blanked her name out. But that was sort of like her symbol that she carried with her, that rose-patterned brooch, and that would indeed be almost assuredly. You think that's got to be the icon.
Oh boy, Auntie is not gonna be happy with me.
But and there is one other. The Sword of Volrashti, you think, would be particularly good. I think I might be messing that name up. But that would be the final piece. Because actually, Menham's brooch and this sword together might actually substitute for it. It all depends. You're not entirely positive. But you think that with your research and your notes, you could find out what these artifacts are. But no,
Okay.
These artifacts here, because they are so antithetical to Belcora herself, it would disrupt her magic. It would prevent her from being able to stop you.
Yes.
I mean, it's a good start for sure, especially if we're going to be going deeper into her lair.
I'm afraid you'll have to. She's probably all the way at the bottom, and there's no telling what lurks down there.
You know, she's got the lighthouse working.
Yes, but
Or
the thing is
someone
massive.
does.
Surely there must be some mechanism that you can disrupt. She can't simply be powering it with her own hatred.
Nothing we found so far. I mean, there's a weird light in one of them that seemed to make undead stronger or something, and the other had a big old worm corpse.
So you would be surprised how strong fetters are. If this thing is truly what's tying her to life, it's a distinct possibility that her hatred and her power and her connection with this place might be all that's needed.
Well, then perhaps the dungeon itself can be destroyed. I don't know. But there is... Be careful when you explore this place. There is an ancient terror that lurks here. Whispers of it, I can feel its presence in this level, but it's certainly never came to me. Thankfully, nothing more than these cruel spirits ever came to bother me here. I must be too far out of the way for it to cause any trouble. But
Was it the big old nasty looking thing under the chute that got you? Or something else?
just a garbage disposal. A terrifying one, and horrendously massive, but no, that's not it. I think you'll know it when you see it.
Uncle,
Look,
I'm sorry
please.
you've been trapped here for so long.
No. If Belcor can be put to rest, if Absalom can be saved, then it's all been worth it. Please, take my tools.
Just pocket them, set them into the bag.
You pick the thieves' tools up, and the minute you remove them from his body and stow them, Otari, looks as though the wind has been knocked out of him. His eyes kind of bug out. Oh no. The first thing is it's not your fault. And as he says this, the ground beneath his feet seems to sink into a hole that just yawns open underneath him. Black tendrils wrap up out of this and encircle his form. And don't forget what I said! And he is yanked downward and falls, his voice echoing up at you before it closes up as though he were never there.
So his remains
Spirit
are gone?
No, his remains are still there, but his spirit has been hauled downward.
What'd you do?
I don't.
I think he said it was your fault.
No.
That item was probably, like he was explaining, an antithesis.
It's probably what bound him. I mean, he might just be going to the other side, but that didn't look too friendly of a
No.
sort.
That was
wasn't
what was-
got him.
That wasn't going to rest. That was something found him.
That was keeping Belcor away. The tools. And once they were gone off of him, he wasn't protected anymore.
I don't think that was Belcora.
It was something.
Whatever's keeping the souls locked up. Belcora, some monster, whatever it is.
Doesn't matter. We're getting rid of it.
Exactly.
I don't.
First, we have to go back to town, though. We have some research to do.
We got fetch quests to do.
Well, give me a minute here. I'm just gonna go over to the remains of the body, just kind of look over it. Well, least I can do is try to get you passing on proper, but burial ain't gonna do that. Gonna have to find you again. Ain't leaving the body here though. And just start packing up the remains.
Yep.
Sounds good.
Gotta put them to a proper burial somewhere.
Well, on that note, thank you all very much for joining us. Join us next week when we continue our adventures in the Abomination Vault. Perhaps the relics of the Rose Guard can be found. Perhaps the mystery of the lighthouse can be revealed. Perhaps Belcor's servants can be discovered and stopped. One thing's for sure, something awful happened here, and maybe the explorers can go and figure it out.
And another thing's for sure, we're gonna have a library quest and a shopping quest in the same session.
Yeah.
Maybe not.
And
Maybe not. We'll find out.
Maybe not. We'll see. Maybe we'll actually do something interesting. We'll find out.
Maybe we'll hand wave the shopping episode because.
Wait, you don't want to do a tax episode?
No.
Why not?
Check out our other shows. Secrets Between the Stars running on Wednesday.
You never let me have any fun.
It's time for their tax episode too.
It is.
I think they're going into some
Spreadsheets.
weird, some brain analysis.
Check out our
Facebook
sponsors: Ark and Forge, Eldritch Foundry, Norse Foundry,
They
Code
pay taxes
UGT
too.
Show. Yeah, they also do taxes. It's
already-
just that season. What can
I
I,
already
say?
did my taxes.
Well,
Do your
taxes for everyone. No one escapes it. Death and taxes. There you
Ha!
go.
Taxes!
Well, we got the death part today.
Indeed, we did.
Almost.
We'll catch you next week. Thank you for joining us.